It's Friday, July 4th, 2025.
I can't wait till we don't have to do this podcast anymore because AI will just do it for us.
Yeah, sadly. Well, let's start off as we always do by saying if you'd like to support our show, you can go to supportourshow.com, and the support links are all there in an array of styles and buttons for you to click on. Also, code OZONE may or may not work to get you 2 months free. Yes, what Lando's alluding to, unfortunately, we weren't able to capture. I'm very sad to say.
You weren't able to capture. I didn't want to capture. I was just...
Well,
I was just talking shit.
I would start. I would almost start every show with that if I had captured it because it was so perfectly done, off the cuff, accurate, and a mixture of satirical and angry at the same time, which I enjoy. Yeah, it was if you use Zoom at all, which we now use because Skype is, rest in pieces, or don't rest since you were never live. Anyway, when you open Zoom, of course, like every other thing on the planet, it starts screaming at you about its AI features and how they can
AI does it better, man. Yeah.
Everything is better. You don't have to do anything. You can just go to sleep now and never wake up because we're doing it all for you. And what's the point of being alive?
We can live you better with AI.
I mean, pretty much.
Oh my God. Did I tell you about the diatribe I got from a woman working at the grocery when I went to use one of the self-checkout things?
No.
Did I tell you about that? So she's an older woman, and I probably had about 20 things, and I just didn't feel like having a human interaction, because sometimes you don't. And I was like, I'll just self-checkout and be fine. And I showed up, and she was like, there's an aisle open over there, you can go there. And it was like on the other side of the store, and I was like, no, it's fine, I'll use the self-checkout. And she was like, are you sure? She's like, this number 9's open, and I was like, no, it's okay. Then I went over and I put my bags on the loading area so I could put my stuff directly in it. And the machine was like, I can't function, call help. There's been and almost honestly in my head I keep hearing the Daleks where it's like, exterminate. There's been an error in the bagging area.
Calculate total.
Yeah,
Cannot
so
calculate. Cannot calculate.
And she's like, that thing's a big scale. She's like, you can't put your bags on it. She's like, the best thing you do is just put all your stuff on it and then bag all your stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's really not, it's not a logical way to do it. I'm like, okay, fine. So then I start trying to scan through stuff, and I'm when like you're trying to go quick, where you grab 2 items and you scan one, then you scan the other, and I put them both on the thing, and again it has a total error where it's like, cannot compute, quick, call for assistance. The woman comes over again, and I'm like, what the hell? And she's like, you went too fast. She's like, you can't go fast with this thing. I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, you got to do one item at a time, put it on the scale, grab the other one. She's like, don't be efficient. She's like, this system hates efficiency. She's like, go slow.
Wait. Have you never used self-checkout in this store before?
I had. I just haven't. They haven't been this bad. But what she said to me was that...
Oh, wow. You've been lucky because they've always been this bad.
Well, she said their system... The system was never designed to do more than 5 items. It was supposed to be a 5 items or less thing. And when COVID happened, they basically used AI and tried to boost the system.
They started that as an express-only self-checkout, and then decided, okay.
And they boosted the system and added, and as she put it, they added an AI system to it. And the AI system is so paranoid about everything that if you do anything, like I said, if the bags are on the scale, it errors out. If you move too quickly, it errors out. If you scan items too fast, it errors out. If you don't put items down firmly on the scale,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's this whole,
Yeah.
you know, and she was like, it's the worst. She's like, it really is. And she goes, and because of that, she's like, we have 1 to 2 employees here managing.
Yeah.
So there's six what do you call it, self checkouts in this little area. And she's like, there's 2 of us that just have to constantly be here because of it. And I was like, Jesus, that's funny. I was like,
Well,
it's amusing.
You've never, because I mean, I don't think I've ever since the home stores integrated it. There has never been a point where there's not at least one person where, and they're almost always
Yeah, but you
4.
know what? I have used the self checkouts in other stores. Like Target actually has like a really good self. I don't want to, say that. I don't want to advertise for them necessarily, but they have a pretty good self checkout. I don't have a lot of problems with their self checkout. I use it.
No. I'm not saying I've never had a problem, but I'm saying there's always a person there because inevitably there's going to be a problem with every like 5th person.
Yeah, I mean, they usually,
reason.
but the thing is, usually it's like 6 or 7 machines per like 1 person, whereas this is like 3 units per person. You know what I mean? Like, and it was just constantly.
Yeah,
and it wasn't just me.
4 units per person.
It wasn't just me either. There was like, every person was having issues with it, and they were just ping ponging around the 2 employees with these units.
Because
and I was like,
even if the barcode gets even slightly smeared, it doesn't know what to do.
yeah, I mean, it's of late. I mean,
the one lady said something about I think it's the scale thing. Like if you set something down that isn't perfectly flat and it wobbles, it'll set it off. Stuff like this. It doesn't know it thinks you're trying to scam it.
Yeah. And it doesn't like hats. She was telling me that it doesn't like hats because it desperately wants to see your face.
Too light.
No.
You mean the scan?
There's an overhead camera, so when it can't see your face, it gets annoyed. And the thing is, I wear Western hats. So I sometimes have very big brims, and she was like, that screws it all up. It hates that.
Wow, that's fascinating because I wear a mask and I've never had a problem.
It sees your eyes, though, right? That's the thing.
I'm wearing glasses. I guess so.
Yeah, but when it looks down from above you, it sees your eyes, it sees your nose profile, it sees your face profile from above. Right? You can match that.
Well, not with a mask on.
Doesn't that just go over your nose? You're not wearing a mask over your entire face.
I'm wearing an N95, so it's covering everything from my bridge of my nose down.
But it can see from above the profile of your kind of nose going into the mask, and then the bridge line over your eyebrow.
I don't think that's right. There's no way it would know whether my nose had a
let me
bump
tell
in
you,
it or it was
with a
straight
cowboy
or
hat,
whatever.
it can't see shit.
Well, okay, yeah, you're obscuring everything.
I'm a fucking ghost at that point.
Yes, that probably it thinks that you're an umbrella. So yeah, I could see that. Well, really, to a machine, it's just seeing.
What is it? Do you categorize as human? Negative. I am a umbrella.
I'm a meat umbrella.
I'm a meat umbrella.
But if you think about it, yes, you're correct. It knows that I'm a person.
Man.
It couldn't identify my face, but it knows that I'm a human being. Whereas with a hat, I don't think it does know what to make of that.
I'm still on meat umbrella. Sorry. My brain checked out.
You are functionally. You're a meat umbrella.
Ooh, yeah. So AI is the intelligence is pretty stupid, I have to say.
Well, I'll tell you, I've stopped using self-checkout not because of the function of the machines, but because I want to support the human workers.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, normally I do. It's just every now and then I don't want to have a human interaction. That happens.
No, I understand, but like I said, I don't want to see a world where they just fire everybody and it's all self-checkout. So I put up.
No, because I mean, yeah, and that's the thing is that they want to create this AI world, but the thing is that part of what makes the world is the people who work in it. And if there's no work for the people, then there's no culture. There's no people. No one can afford to live in that culture. An AI, I realize this, an AI society is a society only for the rich. Because there's no work.
Wow, you figured that out, did you?
Unless you already have the money. No, there's no. So my question is, what society do they think they're creating? Because they're not going to have anyone to build their toys.
No. Yes, they will. There is one mistake you're making.
Yeah.
It's not only for the rich. It's for the rich and the very poor. They don't want a middle class. They want people who are just desperate to eat. Because those people will do anything to not die.
Got it.
Which means they'll be in a factory where they know they're endangered and not worth anything, but they have to work because otherwise they will die on the street. And ideally, They want everyone like that. The middle class has enough to be able to say, no, we want a little bit better than that. And then they cause problems.
Wait till they get a load of the French Revolution. Yeah.
No kidding. I didn't want to interrupt, but I got an urgent text.
From who?
See, this is a byproduct of the fact that I still have my New York number on my cell phone.
Yeah.
So they think I'm still in New York. Quote, what the hell just happened? Democrats like Kathy Hochul are falling in line behind an avowed socialist, Zoran Mamandi, to become the mayor of New York City. New York is in total freefall, and we have to fix it. Make an urgent contribution to help us save New York, end quote. So I guess it's fucking Thunderdome
because
in the city
they're
now.
losing their mind over this, yeah.
Over the fact that somebody who, wants to help people got the popular vote, and people
it's funny
like
how
that.
socialism became a bad word. Here's the thing, guys. Any extreme government philosophy is bad. Extreme capitalism is bad. Extreme socialism is bad. Extreme communism is bad. But what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to buffet it, like Egg says. You're supposed to think of it as a buffet, take the best parts, and build the ultimate hybrid. And the thing is, of late, I feel like you've got these people that are like, no, 100% capitalism all the time is the only way to go. And it's like, no, the problem is you've convinced other people that any socialism is 100% socialism. Any communism is 100% communism. And it's like, no. You just need bits. You just need, a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B, a little bit from column C. We don't need to trade in extremes. But lately, I feel like that's all they do. So.
Oh, crap.
Yes?
Oh, I just realized I've had the wrong color for all my stuff for this month. I didn't realize the June birthstone was like blue purple. Oh, crap. Because I'm like, I have to change all the lighting in my room for July.
We had an OCD moment there, huh?
Oh, man.
This is like a senior moment for you. You just wander off.
Well, you know what? I must have searched for July instead of June. Well, because I have to change. I change all the colors in the room to match everything, including my wallpaper and on my phone and everything. And I must have. Wait, what's August birthstone? Wait. What's May? What's May's?
There's alternate birthstones for a month as well, right?
Well, yeah. Is there one for July?
There's always something.
I'm not. All right. I'm not doing brown.
What's wrong with brown? Fucker.
Not
brown
for
is a proud color.
Oh, no. You know what? No, sorry. It's not. Okay, I saw what looked like red. It's not. Red is January. That's garnet. Ruby is July. Ooh, that's kind of a...
Ruby is
nice, like a purple.
Rubies are also red and green.
Not according to this. Not in this picture. Not compared to a garnet. Yeah. Interesting.
They all come in different colors, my friend.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go with purple. I mean, I'll go with that, pinkish purple. It's an interesting color.
Purple? Rubies don't come. Rubies come in purple. Hold on one second.
Here, I'll show you this. I'll show you the picture. Here, no, I'll show you a picture. I got a picture right here. Birthstones of the Gregorian calendar. Every time I see Gregorian,
shit, look at that. A purple. That's a purple garnet.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. Is they have different versions of, like you said, there are different.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's different birthstones.
Purple ruby. There you go.
Yeah.
Interesting. No, I didn't know that.
I think what they've done is they've shifted the hardcore red to garnet to get a separation. I feel this is revisionist history. There's a raw one. Look, there's a raw ruby that is purple.
It's all just made up shit.
Whoa. Yeah. I've never seen a raw ruby before. Look at that.
Have you ever seen a raw diamond? Looks like a rock.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
A lot of them, in fact, a lot of them just look like rocks because they're rocks.
Well, I guess they do. I don't know. I don't know enough about gemstones to be able to tell you. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, when they're not cut. I mean, hold on. Yeah, look up raw diamond.
Buffed.
Yeah, and when they're cut and buffed.
Well, good, because I didn't want to keep the same color for 2 months in a row. That's very gauche.
Yeah, look at raw diamonds.
What?
They look like broken glass.
They look like piss rocks. They're yellow.
Yeah. Piss rocks. Did you just call them piss rocks?
Yeah, I said piss rocks. Raw diamonds are piss rocks. Well, look, listen to me.
Yes, they look like piss rocks.
I'm going to send you... Now, look at this picture I'm sending you.
Yes.
Now, if you were to tell me that got extracted from somebody's kidney that wasn't functioning, you would believe it.
Oh, wow. Those do look piss rocks. Yeah.
That's raw, uncut diamonds. That's a piss rock.
Yeah, there you go.
So, wow, we're off to a roaring start.
No, you know what? I'll add to that. I got a weird story
Yeah.
for you. Did you read about what do you call it? There's a new tick. It's not new. It's been in the south, but it's moving north now
Oh,
because
yeah,
of.
I did see
But
this.
yeah, I read up on this because I was like, this has got to be bullshit. It's a type of tick that
No,
they've had it in
it's
the
no.
south, but it wasn't as aggressive. But now that it's moving
Yeah.
north because of the global warming, it's getting further
Doesn't
into the.
exist. Stop. Fake news. Stop. The natural cycles or something. I've seen a
When
diagram
it
on
infects
YouTube.
you, it gives you one of the side effects of its infection is that it makes you allergic to red meat.
That's
And
crazy,
when
right?
you eat red meat, you can either if it's mild, you break out in hives, right?
Yeah.
But if it's extreme, the level of your allergy, eating red meat can cause you to have a heart attack. You can go
Well,
like,
isn't the allergy how they found the tick? Am I
yeah,
misremembering that?
yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is that they're saying that
Because
since it
people were
moved,
saying they were allergic to red meat, and they were like, "No, you're not." And they're like,
yeah,
"Yes, we
that's
are."
yeah. And since it moved north, it's become far more aggressive than it was in the south. So they're saying that the numbers of infection are just jumping through the roof. And I'm like, oh man, I was like, a bug that makes you like allergic to beef. I was like, that is some fucked up vegan shit right there, isn't it? Like, I never heard of that before. I read the headline. I was like, is this something from The Onion? And then I read it. I'm like, no, that's actually science.
Real.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So we are definitely going down an alternate timeline, is what I like to think. I still believe that. I
Yeah.
think we left the what do you call it the main timeline in DC. There's a name for it.
Well, we'll discuss this in our feature later. But
Oh
yes,
yeah,
we have been blinked out.
but we are definitely going down one of the an alternate timeline.
Yeah. Yeah. A great
So
one
things are funny. Things are funny.
and
I
fun.
mean, can you imagine? Can you? So let's say theoretically, thought experiment. We're still
Yeah.
traveling
Sure.
down the best case scenario timeline. Can you imagine how bad some of those other timelines must have been for this to be the best case scenario?
Oh, you know what?
What?
You've opened a mini portal segue into something that's promotional, because this actually leads to a question.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
as a small programming note, which I meant to do up at the front and I forgot, of course, the first part of the 4-part devs retrospective with myself and Doug Bielmeyer is now live. Again, if you want the uncut version, it's over on Patreon. And the only reason I would encourage you, even temporarily, is because I am exceptionally proud of the opening I did, because it looks like it was made for the show itself, meaning the television program. I managed to match that thing really well. I don't normally give myself much credit in these areas, but fucking nailed that one. So, just saying,
Good.
even if you just check that out. But that in the course of that series of reviews, a question came up directly relevant to what you just said. If you found, okay,
Yeah.
let's say you were in a bad timeline, or, you know,
Yeah.
the one we're in.
Yeah.
Would the knowledge that another version of you somewhere was in a good one
Make you feel better.
offset the pain of this one?
Okay. So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
With that question, and why that question almost feels meaningless to me, right?
Okay.
If you believe in alternative realities, right?
Yeah.
Or you believe in the so I have realized I believe in the infinity. I believe that everything that has happened will happen again at some point. That basically the universe is so random that we could all be here again in a billion years and not even realize it, and have been here before, because the universe is so random that the very act of the same sequence occurring again or very close to is in itself random. You know, like, it's the whole idea that if you put your songs on random on your thing and the same song plays 7 times in a row, that's pretty fucking random, right? Random doesn't mean that two things cannot follow each other so much as anything could fucking happen. And so I kind of believe in that sort of random infinity. Because of that, then every decision, every possibility is kind of existing I think, in parallel to some degree. So the question of, is there an alternate timeline out there that's better? It's not a, for me, it's a, yeah, there is. And there's one that's worse too. And there's one that's just different because it's all happening, I think, at the same time. I think existence happens everywhere at the same time, parallel. So does it make me feel better that there are versions of me in easier situations? No, because I have no interaction with them. I don't wish I don't wish ill on any of my variants, but I also don't care because that is their timeline. This is my timeline. We all have different things that we have to deal with, and we are essentially not. We're not really the same. I mean, maybe the variants that have had very minor differences in their lives, right? But this goes back to the cloning thing, which we're not going to get that heavy into. But the idea of at what point do two variants of you become different people, right? So, like, you know, uh, um, I'm 45 years old, right? So if there's a variant of me out there that for 20 years lived the same life as me, and then from that point on there was a decision difference that changed the rest of the course of their life, which means that they've had 25 years that are different. Well, somebody who's had 25 different years is not me. Now, we have a lot in common, but they're not me. And it's this question of how many years can a person live a different life that you consider them to still basically be you? Like if there's 2 years of difference, 3 years of difference, if there's a month of difference, like I like to think that a year of difference we're probably pretty similar, unless there was like some kind of massive psychological event that happened. But if it was just minor things like, different workout schedule, different, but I mean, like, if your variant, Joe, never met your wife, well, that's a pretty big fucking difference. That's a pretty big variant of you. And I don't know if the two of you meeting at your age now would be that similar anymore. I mean, it all goes back to Star Trek, right? So when Riker's clone came out of or his accidental transporter clone came out, and that was him from, like, I think was he a lieutenant at that point?
Yes, I think
It
that's
wasn't an
right. Yeah,
incident. He was a
yeah,
lieutenant.
big,
So
yeah.
this much
Yeah, lieutenant,
younger,
but he was never going to be a commander or whatever.
yeah, this much younger version of Riker comes out of the system, and you look at the two of them, and you're like, well, you are technically the same person, but you're a Riker from now. And this is a Riker from many, many years ago. You aren't the same person. You aren't the same person at all because there's been so much different life lived. So, it's funny because I think it gets into the larger idea of when does an identity become what it is. This idea of, is it nature or is it nurture? Are you innately you no matter what, or is it the reaction of the world shaping you? And I think that it's probably, in my opinion, I think it's like 75% nurture, and I think it's like 25% nature. That's just my opinion. But based on that, then yeah, I don't really care because there can't really be that many variants of me. And if the variants live in that much different a world, like if there's a quote unquote variant of me living in a utopian like civilization, they're not fucking me. They're not fucking me at all. Because how many years in a utopian society before it's not you anymore? I mean, and so it just goes back to that question of how long before it's considered a different person. You know? Yeah. So no. The short version to your question is no. It doesn't really make me feel better or worse. This idea that a quote unquote variant of me is living in a better timeline. Sorry, that was a very long answer for your question.
No, it's fine. That's why I asked.
But yeah, I mean, like, I think we're always interested in the minor variants. We don't want big variants. Like, it's the minor variants that fascinate us. It's the ones that But I think humans in general forget the fact that small decisions exponentially change your environment. You know, yeah, it's the whole, and I think it's like if you could actually track the nature of time and reality and decision making, you could fucking map it out in some sort of cosmic interface. You know, I think you would see that it's the whole little mini situations that happen that touch you and cause you to do different things in your life, and you can be changed so easily in a day and then just fire off in a different direction. And it's these kind of everyday minor things that eventually, if you brought two variants together, I mean, like it's like two numbers, and every counter decision in a counter timeline or a counter, dimension is slowly changing you like 0.0000001, right? But it's like every change adds up, so now it's 0.00002, 0.00003, and like it starts adding up, and at some point it's a complete digit of change, and a complete digit of change is pretty much another person, right? Like you are no longer a one, now you are a two. This is Lando two. This over here is Lando six, right? And it's that variant of change. But I like the idea that there are versions of my loved ones in happier places. I mean, here's a better question. What do you think if your spouse went to an alternate dimension and stayed with a better version of you? And by better, I mean a version of you that you met and you've said, this guy is a way better version of me, right? And I don't mean like, oh, she left me, but like, we'll create some sort of sci-fi situation where there's realities collapsing, and to save your wife, you pushed her into a different dimension, and then she gets to be with this other version of you, right? Does that idea make you happy? The fact that your wife is still technically with you, a version of you, but a better version of you, even though it's
Of
a different,
course. Yeah, of course it does.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I mean, if it's the scenario you're outlining, that she didn't
Yeah,
just
yeah,
bail
yeah.
on me because she
I
met
mean,
him.
listen. I always want my kids to be in a better version.
Of course, if she
if
did bail on me after meeting him, I'd be like, well, I can understand.
he's better. I want to be with him. He's better than me. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'd like to be him.
I mean,
I wish it was him.
and it would be, if you met a variant of yourself, you'd still have whatever time. I mean, that's the other thing is like, you'd still be close on some level, because like you and I share no similarity. Like we have lived a different life since we were born, different genetics, different everything, right? But if you met a variant of you, like I said, you could have 20 years of compatibility behind you. So you're automatically going to be closer to each other, right? But it's like Arcane has this episode in season 2 where one of the characters, he kind of crosses over to an alternate dimension version of himself, and he occupies his alternate version. So rather than like appear there in his body, he occupies the body of his variant, right? And I mean, I love Arcane. I think it's really great, but I always had issues with that episode a little bit, because you are distracted by how incredibly heartbreaking that episode is, because he crosses over from his own shitty world to like basically like a utopian world where different people died, but then things got really good, right? And I always had issue with the fact that no one could figure out that it wasn't that guy, that it wasn't him. It's like, I would hope that if I was occupied by an alternate version of myself from like a post-apocalyptic situation, that my wife would be like, "You're acting real fucked up." You know what I mean? Like, that she might catch that it wasn't me. But in the show, nobody catches it. Everyone's like, "Oh," and then it isn't until like kind of the end of the episode that someone figures it out, like right at the end. But it's that idea. It's like, you know what? I think you had a version of this, Odyssey 5, right, with Peter Weller, where they send these people back 5 years, and it's like, okay, that's you from 5 years in the future. You're different people. I mean, the one guy like used to have a drug issue, and now he's like completely clean and like sober.
Yeah, I think that was our drank and now doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's things like that. It's like, yeah, I mean, this is an alternate version of you, and it's the whole. I mean, I asked my wife this the other day as a joke. I said, if you could have, was it if something was going to happen to me, and you could have my consciousness in an alternate body, or you could have an alternate consciousness in my body, which would you choose? And she said, I would take your mind in a different body, because the idea is that it would still be you, even though you looked different, right? But the hope is that if it was a different mind in you, that your loved ones would catch it, that they'd sit there and be like, "Wait a minute, that's not you. What's going on?" You know. So I guess, people just don't expect you to be suddenly occupied by an alternative version of yourself from a post-apocalyptic situation.
If I was going to occupy another version of myself, the first thing I would do is tell everybody that I fell and hit my head. And at least explain it. I mean, that's the smart cover.
Yeah. Well, listen, there's always a way to there's always a way to try to explain it. But I'm just saying you would come off as very different. I mean, Jesus Christ, Joe, what the hell would you do in a utopian society?
Well, it depends on what you define as a utopian society, because I don't need the Star Trek utopia to be utopian. I think if I don't need to be rich, if I just knew that I would have a comfortable life and not have to worry, that's utopia for me.
Yeah.
I don't care if I have a flying car or if I have $2 million or I'm living in Hawaii. Like, none of that shit matters to me. I have no desire for a 2-story house with 1,000 bedrooms and, I mean, a good air conditioning system, sure, because I live in Satan's Armpit, North California.
It's the little things that make life fun.
That's what I mean. So the utopia idea is it's not that far from where I am now. It's just really just financial security.
It's security, stability, and
I mean, would it be nice to think that
mean-spirited, government
society and country that's turning on itself? Yeah, that was where I was going. It'd be nice to be in a country that I thought was the country we were promised, but I guess that ship has fucking sailed.
Promised by who? Who are you talking about?
The people who lied to me in school.
Oh well, I mean, you set that one up yourself.
Well, I didn't know any better. I was like 8.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole.
They drill that shit into you right from the beginning, man.
When you're a kid and you're like, why didn't they teach us actual history? And it's like, well, because it's pretty grim.
Yeah, but you don't think that till, if you're lucky, high school, and sometimes not even then.
I know, but you know what? After. Native Americans, right? I can't remember how old I was when I learned about how bad it really was for the Native Americans and like what was done to them.
For me, it had to be high school. It was definitely not earlier.
It's somewhere, honestly, it might be late middle school. But yeah, when you suddenly realize that, you're like, holy shit.
It was not late middle school for me.
That's fucking terrible. Like, holy crap.
The great irony being that you and I lived in states where many cities are named Native American names. Yeah, and I didn't know that for a very long time.
I did. Okay, so I did. And the only reason I did was because one of the towns near where I grew up is called Ho Cuss.
Oh no, we make a joke about that name in this household often.
And from an early time, we all knew that was a Native American name. We were told. We didn't exactly know what Native Americans were, but we got the sense that it was culturally. And the thing is, I kind of understood that because a lot of cities had Spanish names. And I was like, "Oh, that's not a white word. That's a Spanish word." Oh, that's because it was the name was taken. It was either it was a Spanish colony or The
sitcom Everybody Loves Raymond has probably a total of 6 funny jokes in it in the entire run. One of them is very obscure and specific, and it's comic book based.
Yeah, where
the main character, I think, accidentally traded away a very valuable Pokemon-style card or something. Okay. And so when he finds out that the card was valuable, he's told by his wife, well, you're going to have to go and get a replacement. And the only place that has them is in Ho-Hocus. And he says, I'm not going to friggin' Ho-Hocus. And that joke doesn't really work unless you know what that is. I think for most people who aren't familiar with the naming structure of New Jersey towns, they don't know what the hell that means. That's like a very specific joke.
I'll tell you what's funny too is Ho-Hocus is actually like a really like rich uppity town now.
No, it's not that. He doesn't want to drive the distance from where they live. I don't even know where they're supposed to live in New York. They're in New York. And then he would have to drive to Jersey.
He doesn't want to drive to Jersey. No one wants to drive to Jersey.
That's the joke. I'm not driving to friggin' Ho-Hocus.
Jersey, yeah.
me and my wife. My wife didn't. She didn't. And I said, no, that's a real place. That's a real name. She thought that was the joke, that was a made up town. I'm like, no, that's a real name. So now anytime that, if we're thinking of going to something and it's far away, it's not worth it. We ain't driving to friggin' Ho-Hocus. That's like the catchphrase for it's too far.
That's very funny.
Yeah. Oh, really? And like I said, most people who don't know that's a real name will think it's made up.
Yeah.
Because different areas have different strange internal naming conventions, but that does sound like a made up name. That sounds like, if you don't know it's real, that they're making, because there is, of course, the largely more well-known running gag that New Jersey is a pit. There's many, many shows that make fun of New Jersey in general.
Which is funny, because I do think this is always amusing, the fact that like people get, I think what it is that it comes off like it's an industrial state, but the thing is that North Jersey, they put their highways through this kind of industrial area because they didn't want to put them through other parts. So when you drive through New Jersey, it seems very industrial. The funny part is that South Jersey, even starting around mid Jersey, it's a completely different state. Like the whole Garden State comes from the fact the southern part of the state is all farms. I mean,
that's also people don't understand what Buffalo is because they think all of New York is New York City, so they don't understand Buffalo.
Oh yeah,
what do you mean?
Yeah,
what do you mean trees and snow? And I'm like, it's not all like that, man. Look at the size of the state.
Yeah, upstate New York is its own fucking world. New York City is a tiny little speck on there.
Goddamn West Virginia up in some parts of northern New York. So it's like deliverance could happen.
Yeah, Buffalo is its own world up there.
Yeah, which also is made fun of. So at least there is that awareness. The
well,
Buffalo Bills are
listen, Vermont is only 6.5 hours from where I live right now, and when I go up there, it still feels like a totally different world. I tell my wife every time we cross the ferry. This is always the weird thing too, because like I know that we're not going to an island, but I swear to you, when we cross the ferry to Vermont, I feel like I'm going to an island because it is so entirely different, even from the New York side of Lake Champlain. And when I get there, there's like a totally different vibe. And I'm like, it's so 6.5 hours. And it's so different. People are so different. Yeah. It's amazing.
Also, there isn't a giant fucking concrete barrier on the goddamn main interstate that you can't make a U-turn on. You got to get off and go to a fucking roundabout every time 10 miles. What the fuck? I will never not hate that. That's a very specific New Jersey reference, everybody.
If you're going to get angry about anything New Jersey, get angry at the drivers.
Well, I get angry at drivers everywhere.
Drivers in the traffic. If I had to hate one thing in New Jersey, other than definitely the traffic. Oh God, it's the worst. I've gone to many places. I mean,
LA's got that too, so I can't.
You know what?
You can't really just throw that out.
I will. No, I'll meet you in the middle here, motherfucker. Having experienced LA traffic a while back, yes, it's pretty fucking bad. Yeah, and I but I'm familiar.
Never had a worse experience in LA traffic. Never.
Really?
Nope.
Wow.
No, not when a 10-minute drive turned into almost an hour the same day because it was a different time of day.
Hold on. Do you have the same problem in LA where there's no alternates? You can't go far enough from the highway to get around shit?
I think because I think there are ways if you know where they are. The problem is I'm not a local.
Yeah.
To LA. So, I'm going off of GPS, and the GPS's mission
is to bring you back to the highway.
Right. And you can go off it and it'll recalculate. The problem is you have to keep doing it. So you have to make sure that you're not driving into an area that is actually going to a different part of the state. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can only do that so much and get stuck. So do you want to sacrifice? Actually, it's an interesting value judgment. Is you might spend an extra hour, but on empty roads, not knowing where you're going, as opposed to an hour sitting in traffic, knowing that you're 2 exits away, which is more frustrating. It probably is less frustrating to at least be moving, so at least you see stuff.
Yeah, so, I feel like you're actually doing something.
But that's it. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I know that my GPS probably does have an option to say avoid highways. They typically do now, so I probably could go into the settings and say avoid highways. I'm probably going to find this out because
my GPS
I'm going to drive down to LA later this year. So
my GPS has a setting, I think, that's find the worst ghetto in the area and drive through there slowly.
No, mine doesn't have that, but it
Yeah.
does strangely, if I have to go to the airport in San Francisco, which fortunately is very rare, it inevitably takes me through some small town, which can't possibly save
fastest
time.
way,
So the only
right?
thing I can
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
is that there's maybe some piece of very specific
Well,
road work that it thinks is more of a delay. Because I don't know,
maybe
I don't understand it
maybe
otherwise.
you need to accept that you're just a mere mortal with mere mortal intelligence, and the artificial intelligence knows
I mean,
better. Skynet will tell you where to go.
all right, in defense,
Yeah.
my GPS is pretty good. So I don't think it's AI run because it's too old. I bought it before this was everywhere. If I were to buy a new one now,
It's the T800, man. I got the T800.
Yeah.
This isn't the T1000.
and no internet connection. It's only the satellite. You can't run AI off satellite. Not yet. There's not enough compute on the satellite. There's just not. So
Sure.
fortunately, it's dumb enough. Oh, I think Lando just dropped out. Speaking of compute cycles, it's still recording, I think. Is it? Yeah, it's still going. Is my local recording still going? Yeah, he just suddenly vaped out. Hold on. Nope, my internet's good. I'm still up. So let me see if I get a text momentarily from him. I did not kick him out, everybody. I promise. He literally just vanished mid-sentence. You just vanished. Let's see what his response to that is, everybody. Yeah, my recording's still going, which means my thing is... I have not lost my connection. So that's good. This happened once before, too. I don't remember what it was. I'm just telling him he vanished. Oh, there he is. He's coming back. He's coming back, everybody. Hey.
Holy shit.
What happened?
I have no idea. My middle finger hit the HDMI cable on my laptop.
Ooh.
I mean, literally just hit it, and everything just went fucking dead.
Awesome.
The screen went black, the mic died, everything went dead.
Ooh.
I had to open, and then I had to open, because I'm plugged into my laptop. I had to open my laptop.
Sure.
And my laptop was totally logged out.
Oh, yeah. No, what you did was you probably just caused enough of a disruption that this is a thing I don't like about Macs.
Yeah.
I maybe Windows does it too, so I shouldn't be unfair. Maybe it's all computer, but you're on a laptop, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I don't use a laptop.
Are we still recording?
No,
Are we still okay?
We're fine.
Okay,
No, it
good.
kept running. No, we're
Jesus
fine.
Christ, fucking weird shit. Keep my hands to myself now.
It moved enough that it thought that you had disconnected from your monitor, so for security reasons, it immediately locks itself because it doesn't know if you were at work and somebody grabbed your laptop and ran, so it locks itself. That's what happened.
Yeah, everything just went black.
Open the laptop and
you know what?
that
was the AI getting angry with me. Going, oh, fucker,
sure
you want to talk shit about me?
Yeah.
I'm going to raise your AC to an extremely high temperature and fucking turn off your computer, bitch.
Right. Yeah. Death Spa, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, we should watch that.
Oh, you know what? Before we go any further, tell me about Death Stranding.
Sure.
2.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
I will probably, because I realized... Oh, no, because it's great. I realized that Death Stranding 1 is the only game I've ever done a review video for. I did like an hour-long review video for it, which I worked on.
Well, I want your initial thoughts, because you've been playing it now since... It's
technically one of the most stunning things I've ever looked at. It's so far ahead of everything else. To me. I'm not saying it actually is demonstrably by the metrics better than everything else, but it is so more cohesive than almost every other game I've ever played. The gameplay is basically the same, which is not bad. They've refined some mechanics, they've smoothed some things out, although I think in smoothing some things out, for me personally, some of the quirkiness of the first game has also gone away, but I understand not everybody wants that, and I don't think it's enough that I care. But for example, the blood grenades are now synthetic blood. You don't actually have to go in and piss and extract blood and make your own weapons anymore. They've synthesized it. So you do lose that thing of using the toilet and then getting weapons from it, or going in and submitting blood and getting weapons from it. Now it's synthetic blood based on your character's blood. Somebody who has dooms. But it immediately, I knew from the trailers, I knew a character that I liked was going to die. I didn't know how long it would take. It didn't take long. And I really did react to this. It
Is
got
that Del
to me
Toro?
because
Is it Del Toro?
yeah, Del Toro, and his death scene's so good. Sorry, spoilers, I guess, but it's happened so early. It's in the tutorial level essentially, because Mexico is the tutorial level. It's just an extended tutorial. They keep showing you how to do things. They just do it naturally. And so there's a part where because he's a synthetic person. He's basically was a Frankenstein's monster type. He was assembled.
Oh man, I totally get why he did that.
Oh yeah, like he's got a scar across his head. I mean, it's yeah. And then he had lived up to this point thinking that there was no afterlife for him. And then he realized he'd done research and found out there was. And so he chose to leave. He wanted to go to his beach. He wanted to go. And he's like so happy about it. And Sam, the main character, you can see that he's realizing what's going on. And there's this really great music playing. And like it's already happened. He's left this hologram for him so that he would know what happened. So you know at a certain point, like, oh, this already happened. This is his like post.
This is his obituary video.
Yeah. So he's like, don't be sad. He's like, I found where I need to go. I'm going to go. I'm thrilled. I found it. I have a beach. I am a real person. Like it's just a very moving speech, and it's a small moment that happens early. So right there, I'm like, okay, this game has me. It already has me. And then the actual mechanisms of it, you're still delivering things, which I liked. You're still helping other people, which I like. You're constructing things for other people. They construct them. So I log in and suddenly there's a bridge there and I didn't have to worry about building it because somebody built it and I can improve it.
Oh, so there's still that weird connectedness to other people.
Yes, asynchronous multiplayer. So you are helping out people who are helping you out that you will never see. But you will know that they helped because their name is on what they left for you.
Things will change come to a river, and the name will be there, yeah.
Yeah, so I came to this river and there was already a ladder across it with somebody's name.
But that's only in the kind of open area between the cities, right?
Well, yeah. It's anywhere that you're not inside a building. Because inside the building is basically cutscenes. Anytime you're inside a building, it's a cutscene. As far as I mean, outside of a couple of special cases. But in those special cases, I'm pretty sure you can have that stuff happen in those buildings too.
All right.
So now what they didn't have in the first game is now people can actually request specific things. So you'll be driving along, there's a little thing there, and it says aid request weapons. And so I'll walk into the circle and I just drop a gun. In that person's game, they're notified, hey, somebody left you a gun. And they get it. And then that helps them out. So all that stuff is still there.
So only the positive multiplayer game elements can get through.
Only impact other people positively.
Wow, what a great twist to reality that is.
Right? There is no mechanism to negatively impact anyone. There is nothing that you can do. You can't even write custom messages. You can only leave positive stuff.
Now you've left a challenge for people.
No, it's impossible. You can't do it. I'm telling you, there's no system in the game. Because there's even things where you can leave. You cannot write anything. You can leave signs. All the signs are positive. You can do it. Good job. You've got this. Whatever, blah, blah, blah. No negatives. There's warnings. Don't watch it, chasm.
Yeah.
But even that, how would you fake somebody out with that? There's no chasm? Okay. So they just keep walking. Right? Yeah. I mean, the worst case possible scenario is... No, there isn't. I can't even think of how you would do it. You can't even fake somebody out.
No.
So, no. It is impossible.
I'm glad they've figured out a way to make it so people can't be bitches.
Well, he's also incorporated Metal Gear Solid into it so clearly because he can't do that anymore.
I saw that in the trailer. I did.
In the trailer, but also in the actual... Now there's a sniper trank rifle.
Oh,
because that's the other great part. You can't kill anybody. Because if you do, well, you can't. They won't let you because it's like a nuclear bomb going off. So no one will give you lethal rounds. You cannot kill anyone. I'm not going to say nobody dies, but you cannot shoot somebody in the face.
Because if somebody dies, then the bad things show up, right? Which I forgot what they're called.
Yeah, they show up, and if they manage to consume them, it's a void out, which is basically like 40 nuclear bombs going off at once.
Oh, Jesus.
It leaves a crater. So
how do people die in this game if they can't die?
Well, if somebody dies, they have to immediately be incinerated.
Oh, okay.
So you could die, but you can't encounter the other side. So if the BTs, the beach things, come and grab you and they pull you into the ground, then a void out happens. So what happens if somebody dies of old age? You have to immediately incinerate them so that they can't be taken.
It's an interesting world.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's great. I just basically got past Mexico, and I'm not even leaving because I'm just doing deliveries. Because you get things for it. So again, you're helping people out, you're getting stuff for it, so it's great. But there's like a woman, I haven't figured all of it. There's like weird mysteries to it because there's a woman who should have had a baby and it's just stuck at 7 months and nothing's wrong with it, but she can't figure out why she's not going past 7 months. So there's obviously something there. The woman from the first game who integrated her dead self into herself is back. Margaret Qualley is back in this one, which I didn't realize she was coming back. Sadly, Mads Mikkelsen, unless it's a surprise thing, he won't be back because he did die. I mean,
he was the villain for the last one, wasn't he?
Well, he wasn't really the villain. No, he's not. Higgs is the main villain.
Okay.
No, Mads Mikkelsen was... He seemed to be a villain until you understood what he was. He was actually Sam's father. So you were seeing things as if they were current, but they were in the past. So he was kind of stuck in that because they tried to take his child from him. So yeah, he was a villain to Bridges, sort of. But he wasn't really a villain. He was a father who was pissed off they tried to steal his kid. So, you know, understandable. I don't know what the new guy's deal in this is. I haven't gotten that far because I'm just riding around on my 3-wheel trike.
Isn't the new guy basically, what do you call it? Isn't he basically Snake?
Well, I mean, they're making him look like it with the bandana, and he is leading an army of soldiers very similar to Mads Mikkelsen. So my guess is, without knowing, I haven't read anything about it, and I haven't gotten this far, is I think anyone who dies with a grudge enough ends up in this war hell where they take over soldiers and want to do something. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it all has to make sense.
There's a war hell now?
Well, yeah, because when in the first game, whenever you would encounter the Mads Mikkelsen fights, they were always in like World War I in the trenches. I don't really know why, because he wasn't a soldier, I don't think. But that's the version of hell, is you're stuck in a perpetual war because it's the worst thing, I guess, that humans can do to each other.
Yeah.
So that's hell, sort of? Or that's the bad
it's the mad god. It's the mad god thing, isn't it?
Sort of, yeah. So it seems like that's the same thing in this one with this guy, but I don't know if he was actually a soldier.
I'm gonna have to read up on his mythology. It's very interesting.
Well, just you can just watch the cutscenes online. You can watch the YouTube cutscenes. They're amazing.
They're worth watching. Can I just watch the cutscenes and get a movie out of it?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Everything, all the Metal Gears, they've cut them all. They're all movies because first and foremost, he wants to be a filmmaker. He said that. It's very clear. He is a complete film head. I mean, that's all he posts about is movies. And he's written a book about how movies inspired all of his art. Yeah, I believe it's called Death Stranding Cutscene Supercut. Let me see. Hold on, I can tell you. Let's see. Here it is. Death Stranding Director's Cut. All cutscene. Well, this is... Okay, this person broke them apart. Wow, they're all in 4K, too. Holy crap. Look at that. Huh.
I may have to watch that because it's a good way to.
You should. It's very good. It's really, really good. I've told people who will never play the game, well, you should at least watch the. Yeah, here it is. 11 hours. That's it.
Oh God.
Oh yeah. Are you kidding? I mean,
11-hour movie. Man, that's a lot of filming to do. It's basically a mini series. Jesus.
No kidding. Hold on. I want to see. I think Metal Gear Solid 4 is the longest one. I think it's longer than that. Cutscene Supercut. That's the one everybody complains about, which I love, Metal Gear Solid 4. Oh, no. I'm sorry. That one's only 9 hours, so this is technically longer. I didn't realize that. Go. Wow, 9 hours, 5 minutes. This is 11 hours, 37 minutes. Now, that's with the director's cut. I don't know if that added much more. Wow, they've actually refined it because they wanted to fix audio issues. Wowzers. Amazing. What's this one? Oh, no. Sorry, there's a 12.5-hour version. Oh, yeah, that one. Whoa. Yeah, you should watch it, though. I mean, it's it's like a David Lynch thing. There's just nothing quite like what he comes up with. And it's really, really, and I think I've told you this before, I think you would actually get more out of it because it becomes about being a parent and like the parent-child relationship. Like it's a big part of it as it goes on. Where you start off as this character who doesn't want to have anything to do with anybody, relatable, and then by the end has realized they care about this child that was really just a mechanism. These children are only tools. They are born and kept as infants and then disposed of once their usefulness is over. So it's a fucked up world, really.
Has his child grown up into...
Well, she's growing. She's not an adult. This game takes place just under a year from the first game.
Okay, so they're 1-year-old.
Yeah, so I guess a little over one probably because a few months. I don't know how old Lou is in the game. They don't call her Lou until way later. He names her Lou, but I don't know how old I don't know what the BBs are. I have one hanging on my wall right near me. It's hysterical. I have the pod from the first game. No, it was in the collector's edition, which was really great for the first game and sucked shit for the second one. Which, hey, it saved me money. I was really pissed about that. I didn't even pre-order. I knew I was going to buy it. And as soon as it came out, I bought it the same day. But I'm like, no, I'm not supporting this type of downgrade by a pre-order, even though I know even if the game had gotten shit reviews, short of them saying it doesn't work. Because the first game was very divisive. Not everybody thought the first game was good. I thought the first game was a masterpiece. Not everybody felt that way. Now everybody's on board for the second one, which I'm like, okay. I think some of you just decide you don't want to be on the outside.
I'll be honest with you. When I saw the trailer and I saw the scene where the tar body or whatever it is pulls the mech thing on the head.
Yeah.
I was like, oh Jesus, yeah. I want to see this. I was like, what the fuck is this about?
No, and it's all like that. That's the thing, is it's all like that. Even the first game is all like that. It's just so visually rich. And one thing I like about Kojima, he has his problems in excess. I mean, he can sometimes be exceptionally juvenile. Metal Gear Solid 5 is probably the worst example, where he's got that girl in a bikini and she literally just shakes her ass at you, which I guess if you jerk off to video games, maybe that does something for you. It never has for me. So I'm just like, okay, can we get past this, please? It's nonsense. It's because he wanted to have a beautiful woman that he could shoot in skin-tight clothing and then animate her the way it would. Whatever. Everybody's got their thing.
Yeah.
Tarantino's got feet. He has video game models. It's fine. But in any event, the excesses have an upside in he's not afraid of going overboard on emotion. Very similar to how David Lynch did. There's parts of David Lynch's stuff where it is so histrionic that it just stops short of being comedy somehow. And Kojima has that same thing where he comes right up to the line of, okay, you push this another centimeter and it's becoming a Mel Brooks film. And it stops. And there's a sincerity to it because there's not one moment of this that I don't believe he, for himself, honestly fully invests in. Whether other people do or not is secondary. But he, as the artist, is seeing that this emotion should be there. You sense that. And that's really tricky to get right. Especially when it is grandiose and over the top and at times ludicrous. But when that sincerity is there, you can tell and it's fine. So like the thing with when Dead Man dies. Like that, for some people, will probably be too much. It's a little over the top. Like his whole way that he's, like, the motion capture and everything. But I know where it's coming from. And it's a great scene. So, I don't care.
Well, I'm glad that it has lived up.
Yeah,
so I guess the first one, it's a proper sequel. It feels good. It feels right.
Oh yeah, you could jump right from the first one to this one, and I really don't even think there's much different about it. I mean, there is in that they don't start you off. The opening mission in the first one, I will admit, for most people, would be a test. Now, the fortunate but not planned thing with the first game is it came out during COVID. So it was a game about isolation and being separated from people that just happened to release when everything was being locked down. So there was a weird feeling to that game that if it came out today, if the first game came out today, you know how the first Assassin's Creed, to play it now, you kind of feel some of the mechanics
it feels very limited. That you can really see. Honestly, it's like Super Mario Brothers, because you go in there, you can see the crowds that you're supposed to blend in. There's only it only feels like there's 10 skins to people. It feels very contrived.
Yes. Now, I won't say it's the same as that. I don't think it's a one-to-one comparison. What it is, though, is I don't know that game would land the same in a non-COVID environment. I think it would still be well received by people like me who are just all in on whatever Kojima makes. Like, I'm all in. I don't care. I'm going to play it. Except for PT, because I don't like first-person horror games. I just don't. Plus, that got fucked anyway, so I guess I was better off. But that's the only one where he made it. I'm like, I don't play first-person horror like this.
Which one is
just
PT?
not my thing. It was a demo. It was a stealth demo for a Silent Hills remake that had Norman Reedus, the main actor who's in Death Stranding. He wanted him to be the main character for a reboot of Silent Hill, and everybody loved it. And then Sony lost the rights or just decided. Oh well, that's when Konami and them split. I mean, it was a mess. So it basically just never went anywhere. But that was what it was. It was basically a secret. You got to the end, you realized he was in Silent Hill, which everybody has wanted a remake of. Now they released Silent Hill 2 and they're remaking the first one too. But at the time, it was like, holy shit, they've got somebody who actually gets it, because it was a fairly effective demo. But like I said, I don't do first-person horror. I just don't care. So it didn't. Outside of Alien Isolation is the only one I've played, which is fucking terrifying. But in any event, I will play everything else of his, and I don't care about the flaws. They don't bother me. That's why most people hate Metal Gear Solid 4. I don't. I think it's fucking magnificent. It doesn't always make sense. None of the shit makes sense. Again, to go back to, it's like the what do you call it? It's the Mad Max thing. In fact, George Miller's in this game. I haven't run into him yet, but he's in the game. He's like the new replacement for Del Toro. He's a character that will be the quirky director guy that Kojima adores. In fact, they've talked about making a Mad Max movie, which would be something, or a game. I fucking love it. But like Mad Max, there's inconsistencies all over the place. If you try to do it chronologically, it's not meant to be that way. George Miller said, no, these are fables. These are not. I don't care about continuity.
Yeah.
Same thing. If you're going to get hung up on whether Solid Snake did this in this game and this in this game, blah, 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 all right. Well, then don't play them, I guess. So, no, it's great. And I will overindulge in taking it slow because there's no experience like this. The first one was like that too. I mean, the first one was...
Yeah, you don't want to rush it, because once you're gone through it, you've gone through it.
Yeah, I know there's nothing else like it.
Yeah.
But like I said, an entire tutorial where you are carrying a dead body to an incinerator, and that's the whole mission, is just not to fall. Some people are not going to be able to handle that. They're going to be like, this is boring. Yeah, then you shouldn't play this game.
Well, you know what? This is a good segue into talking about, was it Firebase? What is it called?
Oh, Firebreak. FBC Firebreak.
Yeah. We should mention that because we've been playing it.
Sure.
And
yes.
I never played. Now this is. I'll let you present it because I didn't play the game this is based off of. Which is
the easiest way to set a background is Remedy made a game called Control. Control is, if you've never played it, well, if you're not familiar with the SCP stuff, that this won't help you. Essentially, Control takes place in a building in New York City called the Oldest House. From the outside, it looks like a government building. Same general. Actually, I think they modeled it off the Long Lines building, the AT&T Long Lines building, which, if you've never heard of that, look it the fuck up. It is awesome. Which is a real building in New York with no windows that looks like it is a torture chamber for haunted spirits. That's what it looks like. It's not. It's just that it used to be where all the telephone lines for, at least New York, but I think a lot of other places, like the central nerve system of the old phone
that place
system.
looks like someplace out of hell. Yeah.
Oh, it's It looks like a
Yeah.
Ghostbusters location. Like
Yeah.
that's where they should
Yeah.
have
Yeah. It
had
does. Yeah. Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. So it's largely based on that from its external look. And inside, it is infinite. There is no, the space, it's like the TARDIS. It makes no sense. You go into rooms and they're all off kilter and there's weird shit sticking out. But then when you clear the room, it all forms back into these big brutalist rooms, concrete, steel, tubes, pneumatics. And inside that is the Federal Bureau of Control, which is a government black ops thing or whatever, X-Files, that maintains a watch on any type of weird extra dimensional whatevers. And the first game, when you arrive there, your brother has been taken over by this force called the Hiss, which is this, again, extra dimensional evil force. And they have inhabited this character's brother. She's like psychic. She has a gun that changes form. So she, if you need to use a shotgun, it just reconfigures itself into a shotgun. Oh, you need to use a handgun, it reconfigures itself into a handgun, blah, blah, blah. So inside the building, anything fucking goes. You can walk into, you were talking about this because we played a level where you walk out and suddenly all you see is like the universe.
Oh, it's infinite.
Above you.
Yeah.
It's like you're out in space.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in Dark City where the brick wall goes down. They realize, oh, we're in space. It's like that. Well, that happens in the game. You go into what they call the Black Rock Quarry. And when you walk into that quarry, the bottom is a normal quarry with black rock. And then you look up and it's the universe. It's like you could, like, if you jumped high enough,
So when you leave,
off.
so when you leave the building, everything is normal again.
Well, you never leave the building. Because by the end of the game, you are now the new administrator for the entire bureau. You've become the president, but you always were, once you become the president, you always were the president. So the picture on the walls that was a guy before becomes you, and everybody just knows you're the president. So you
Weird.
go in, and you, as the character, as far as we know, never leave.
Come out.
You are now in there. Right. And there are people, and to the people inside, they're just used to it. So it's just another job to them. Right? So,
Yeah.
Firebreak, the game we're talking about, FBC Firebreak, is a game set within the oldest house where you play as one of these day-to-day workers who has to deal with when, something gets loose.
Outbreaks.
When a Post-it note monster decides to throw a fit.
That's what I was thinking about. We were talking about like kind of the
Yes.
the interesting mundane moments in the game and trying to enjoy it and the weirdness of it. And it's like, yeah, that made me think of the Post-it note monsters. And
Right.
so you were talking about the people getting bored with the level where you had to carry a body and not fall. Whereas in
Yes.
Firebreak, we had a level where we had to destroy how many 100,000 Post-it notes that had just
At one
were
point, I think it
scattered.
was... there was one point it was 180,000. I think it went to 2 million.
At one
I
point,
think at one
and
point.
we were just shooting and burning and destroying them left
Yes.
and right because they were becoming people.
Right. Well, yeah, at a certain point, Post-it note men were running around.
Yeah,
So
and so
that's that. And the benefit of having it set there is that nobody in the building thinks anything's weird about this. So you don't have to have the freak out reactions. Like everybody's used to weird things happening. So you take away that element of what's going on, everybody. It's like, no, this is the job. It's what we're here. It's what they're paying us for. And that's the basic setting. Is each of the game is different missions where up to 3 players, but it does not have to be 3 players. It can be as little as 2, which is what we're playing.
Which we do pretty good.
Go around. Yeah, I think the only one they said that you really feel the stress on is 1, which the game does adjust. But it also, I could see how being 1 player, because we've had to cover each other at times.
Oh yeah.
Or cooperate, and doing it as 1 person. I mean, it would really have to throttle the difficulty,
Yeah.
which to me feels like you're defeating the game's purpose. Then, so we play it as 2, but it's.
I
technically
enjoy it.
3.
It's weird. I do worry that it is limited because I think you said there's only 5 boards right now, right?
Yeah, we've gone through the first 3 of the 5 that are currently available.
It feels like it's going to be a very short game that you can come back to. I don't like necessarily the way they have set up some of the things in the game where like you can't do certain upgrades unless you buy everything in a certain section, and you're like, yeah, but I don't need any of those things. It's like they're kind of getting they're not making it so you can just upgrade the things you like to play the way you want to play. You have to buy all these upgrades that have nothing to do with you to get to like the next page, which is almost feels like an attempt to get you to play more. And And I think in that respect, I know that the game will become limited in time because there are so few boards. But as a thing to play 5 boards in, it's very enjoyable. It's a weird fucking world. The characters are weird looking. Um, they're not, I mean, they're not normal fucking characters. And the world that it occupies is quite strange. I mean, one of the boards we were like in a underground tunnels. That furnace level was fucking insane, where you go into this giant furnace room and every now and then it blasts blue flame and you got to take cover as it burns everything in the room that isn't behind cover. And like honestly, I think the Infinite Core was the first time it actually got fucking like weird. Like everything else, you're kind of like, dark room, zombies, okay, but then like you get to the Infinite Core and you're like, okay, this shit's fucking weird now. So honestly, it makes me more interested in Control, but as a short multiplayer game to play, it's been a lot of fun. I I don't think I would want to pay for it, but the fact that we got it as part of the PlayStation Plus, it's been fantastic that way. But I mean, this game goes for, it goes like $40? Is that what you said?
Well, that's what it came out at. Let's see if it's already hit a sale. I don't know if it would have. I mean, sometimes they do. Let's take a look. It is currently still $4.
40.
Yeah. 40.
Yeah, I don't think I'd pay. I don't think I'd pay $40 for this. I would pay $40 if I knew there were like 10 or 5 more boards at least. But and this is from a position where like I like the game, but I feel like 5 boards isn't enough for $40. You know.
Well, that's the thing is, I have to assume. I mean, I have to assume.
I want to assume they're going to make more for it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I'm trying to see future content. Do they? I mean, I don't think they have a roadmap. Right? Oh wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, they do. Jesus. Of course, I said that, and then I found one. Okay, here we go. Let's see. They do have a roadmap. The roadmap says fall major update, new job outbreak, winter major update, new job blackout. So
they have 2 more jobs in the year.
So there's 2 more coming.
Yeah.
It's all free, which is unusual. No pay. So
well, it's all free. We got it through PlayStation Plus, but if you buy the game, then you paid for the game. So they're giving.
Well, sure, but I mean, even
they're backing
what do you
up
call
their
it?
content.
But they don't. They're essentially a Fallout 76 model, except they don't have the goddamn Atomic Store barking at you all the time, saying, "Hey, do you want to buy a flag for your camp? It's $4. It's got a picture of a zombie on it."
They should make better stuff. Do you want a giant gold dildo you can strap to your fucking what do you call the suits?
Well, they probably do with this the armor.
Yeah.
Power armor dildo.
Your power dildo. Yeah, you can mount it on.
They probably make something like that.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they're all trying to make money, and I think I don't have a problem with them having a little store in the game as long as it doesn't have. It's nothing that gives people an edge. It's just cosmetics, right? Because I don't mind, like, if you want to make some radical shit that is only in like your little store, and it's just something there to make it more fun. For example, when we played the Suicide Squad, right? I paid for the Superman outfit for King Shark.
Sure.
And I honestly felt that made it so much more fun. I preferred, I don't know why, but for some reason, playing that character dressed as Superman just tickled the shit out of me. Didn't change anything about the game. Didn't make me play better. Didn't give me any armor. It was completely cosmetic. I'm fine with that.
It made you enjoy the game, so it did change something about the game.
Well, yeah. But the thing is, I would have had the same.
Highly repetitive.
That? Well, I know. Well, that's
highly repetitive.
Yeah, I know. But it's that kind of thing. So it's like if they want to make cosmetics, that's fine. Just don't make me have to buy. I mean, wasn't it Assassin's Creed that was
highly repetitive? Everybody,
weren't they selling boosters?
They were selling everything.
Yeah, like that. Okay. That stuff.
I don't even remember. I barely remember that game.
Isn't that
except for the
Odyssey
Green Lantern shark. I remember the Green Lantern shark.
No, I'm talking
about
awesome. I'm talking about Assassin's Creed. Didn't they get in trouble because they put boosters in their store?
I think, yeah, they had said that they weren't doing play to win stuff, and then they did. Yeah, I mean, Fallout 76 also got that. Most of them will say, oh, we're only selling cosmetics, and then inevitably they'll not be selling just cosmetics. So they almost all do that. That's not an excuse. I'm just saying at this point, I don't believe anybody who says that.
Yeah. As for you talking about green, when King Shark puts the Green Lantern ring on,
the Green Lantern ring on, which is the one exceptionally great thing.
It is the
game.
one, yeah. Because I think I had just said that too. Oh man, he should put the ring on, and then he put the fucking thing on, and it was
yeah, you did. Yeah,
that was probably the peak moment in that game.
Not maybe it was.
That was okay.
I don't remember anything else. Really, there's nothing else where I'm like shit. If that ever happened.
The only other thing the only other thing I remember in that game that I actually did think was funny was when they were electrocuting the penguin.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And I remember that because we talked about it on the show because it did genuinely give me a chuckle. Oh no! Stop struggling, penguin.
Yeah. I do remember. I remember it now that you reminded me, but I forgot.
Yeah.
If somebody asked me, "Do you remember anything from that game?" It would be the shark. Literally, that's it.
I did find the gameplay to be fun as King Shark. I did like it.
I didn't hate the game.
But this is the whole Helldivers problem. Helldivers is a terrible game, but its action system.
No, not Helldivers. We never played it. You're talking about
Helldivers. Outriders. Outriders. Yeah, Outriders is a terrible story, and honestly, didn't even look that great. But the physical play of the game was fantastic. Like just running around, smashing the shit out of people, using your powers. I just want to rip that out of the game and stick it into a better game.
Sure.
I mean, and same with King Shark. The way he played, like the mechanics of Suicide Squad, I'd like to take the mechanics out and put it into a better game.
Sure.
But either way, Firebreak is fun. I don't know if I pay $40 for it, but if you're on PlayStation Plus, totally worth it.
The interesting thing about it is that it is free on both the Xbox and PlayStation subscription platforms. So I think that alone will likely get people to play it who would not pay $40. It isn't. I have to admit, it's an interesting question. If it was not on there, would I have paid $40 and been pissed off?
I would be let down if I found out that if we paid $40 and there was only 4 or 5 maps.
Okay, so here's what I would have done. I would have said, let's wait and see if the content comes out before the year's out, and if it does,
then you buy.
If there were 2 more maps, I wouldn't mind $40 for.
Whereas, I mean,
7 maps.
Listen,
I mean, we haven't. And in fairness, we haven't done the hardest level, so we breezed through it at normal difficulty, and we haven't hit a single what do you call it, magic item or altered item. So I don't know how much harder that makes
Sniper Elite. I mean, there's how many there. They're still putting levels out for that game. I mean, we've had 2 or 3 since the game came out.
But also, Sniper Elite, every map is guaranteed at least an hour or 2,
or more if you're really taking your time.
Well, and I do want to do a thing where we go through and we do it.
Oh, if we're seeing we have to start
spotting. Over. Yeah,
that will
forever. Be many hours.
That'll be many
you're right,
hours,
because the one that we did, it also helps that I knew 2 of the maps from play testing it. But yeah, we blew through one of them in 30 minutes. One mission at normal difficulty with the thing cranked up.
Now that now that I know what the mechanics are and what we have to do, we've got our team building kind of set where it's like, we know how to cover each other.
The 2 of us, yeah. So
I mean, we come equipped. We come equipped for teamwork.
And there is kind of a what's the word, a catch-22 to it, because if they offer it free, then they have to milk you for shit everywhere, right?
Yes.
So they have to charge for it.
Yeah.
And I do want to support a developer who made something really interesting in Control and is expanding that into this.
Yeah.
And in fairness, they did say from the beginning.
No, you know what?
Because
you make a very good argument, and you are correct. I agree with you. To support the studio and support them making weird shit that is different, you are correct. That makes the $40 purchase worth it to me.
Yeah.
But I have to be reminded.
No, and I don't blame you, because and this is also a paradox they set up for themselves, because one of the things in the marketing for this they kept saying was, we don't want to have a game like World of Warcraft where you are committed for 2 hours if you just want to play one session. They called it a dad game, because they're like, you don't always have all the time in the world. You want to be able to drop in and get out.
Well,
so the 30-minute mission time is actually
Overwatch.
What they want.
For me, for the longest time, was the dad game, because I could drop in on a board and drop out really quick. That's why their balancing is so fucked up, because they basically lean towards just getting you in a game. It's just that sometimes you're getting into horribly unbalanced games.
Well, that's the thing, is it requires a bunch of players on the other side. This doesn't. This only requires you. So it is Sniper Elite, but on a smaller scale. So the 30-minute thing, is it really a criticism per se? Because they would say, yeah, that's the point. We don't want you to have to sit there for 2 hours. You want that? Go to Sniper Elite.
Well, it's like, I mean,
right.
listen, when we play Wasteland, right, to get out of the game takes us about a half hour.
Yeah.
To find a place where we're safe.
Well, just doing skill point reassessment takes half an hour.
I know. Yeah.
Do I want to put this hat on? What does the hat do? Well, it does this. Let me see if I can combine that with a brooch. Yeah, the brooch gives you bullet invulnerability, but the hat does too. So that's an overlap.
Let's not even get to Baldur's Gate.
No, well, yeah. But those games are meant to be role playing. You're meant to want to be in the world, so you wouldn't want to leave after.
I do enjoy the world, but yeah, getting out of that world takes a bit.
Oh yeah. No,
Can you imagine in the far distant future when they've got full VR games, where you're like dropping into a game, into a totally virtual reality, and then having to get out after a half hour?
It'll be something. Well, the trick there is you can't spend too long, or you won't be all balanced when you come out of it.
Well, you come out just fucking falling stairs. Yeah.
I was just jumping from rooftop to rooftop. What do you mean? I'm going to be out of breath going up 3 stairs.
It'll be the number of VR-related deaths per year.
Right.
Another teenager fell down the stairs today from...
VR casualty.
Yeah.
200 VRCs in the last quarter one.
That's fantastic. I love that. The VRC. There'll be just a little number popping up. Yeah.
Well, but they wouldn't use that language because that's negative for the shareholders. They would say... it would be VRAL, a VR attributable loss. Something that happened that can be attributed directly to the VR headset would be a VR attributable loss. Our VRAL for Q1 was under 15%. Therefore, we're confident that we will not be sued.
There you go.
It's like the Fight Club thing where it's like, the claims adjuster.
Yeah.
If it's under this amount, they don't bother. The recall.
Yeah, we don't do a recall.
Yep.
Well... There you go.
Are we out of stuff?
Well, I'm never really out of stuff. You know that.
No. What I mean is, are we at the end of the things you wanted to mention?
Oh, I didn't even have things I wanted to mention.
Yeah, you did. You asked me about Death Stranding and Firebreak. I'm just making sure there's nothing else you wanted to get to before we jump to the movie stuff.
I didn't ask you because I had stuff. I was just curious.
No. I don't mean you have a piece of paper with a bunch of numbers on it. I'm just saying I want to make sure before we get into the end.
We can talk about a lot of other stuff if you want. I'm just saying, if you want to talk about the movie, we can talk about the movie.
Well, I don't have anything else because
cue the music. Go ahead.
I had.
Forward.
No. I have to do my movie now because I did watch a movie.
Did you? Oh, yay!
I did. Yes, I did. I watched the movie. I mentioned it to you. I did another blind buy of a 3-movie set.
I'm trying to remember what it was.
Syndrome, called it's the Iron Angels trilogy.
Oh,
Iron
yes,
Angels 1, 2, and 3.
You did mention that to me, yeah.
Right. So I watched Iron Angels 1, which now in hindsight, if I could travel back in time or tell my alternate version, I would say wait and watch it with Lando so you could experience this movie for the first time with him. But I wasn't sure because... I'd never heard anything about these movies, and you never know what you can actually trust with them. So I was like, I'll watch the first one. And I realized, because I've heard of these movies before, and there's bad VHS rips of them or whatever. But essentially what they were always described as were, imagine the first Mission Impossible movie, but with Hong Kong tomfoolery. And I'm like, oh, well, that sounds fun. And I watched the trailer, and there's lots of explosions and fights. I'm like, okay. So I bought the set. And the nice part is, I will, as a tip, everybody, these vinegar syndrome things, if you get the numbered ones, you will always get your money back if you don't like them. I've made my money back plus on the couple that I've decided were not worth keeping. So if you're going to buy something without knowing you want it, spend the extra $10 to get a numbered one, because guaranteed when they go out of print, which they always will, just wait a little while and you will make your money back plus a bit extra on eBay. Guaranteed. I have not lost money on a single one. And they're all over eBay, and it's the numbered ones. So take the chance, but spend that extra money. Don't just get the standard one if you're not sure that you're going to keep it. Just a little tip. Anyway.
Yeah, that's
so West
good.
Iron Angels won.
It's neat that it exists like that.
Well, this is a thing for collectors. Like, they want every numbered Vinegar Syndrome release. They want it.
So how many numbered ones do they do of a release?
Almost every major release is numbered for a limited time. It's just how many. Like Iron Angels
what I'm saying. Like, do they do like 500? Do they do 1,000?
It depends. This one is 1,000. I think the Keep was 500. I missed that one. So
what does the numbered versions have then?
Nothing except that it has a number in a hard box. That's it.
Oh, okay.
But it's got a number in a hard box in. You know how it is with people.
Yeah, that's all you need.
No, I mean, it's got like a hard, a slip cover, a hard slip cover, as opposed to just the plastic, Blu-ray case. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah. No, I get it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
My silence is assent here.
No, I'm just saying that's all it is. It's a box with a number on it that somebody wrote with a marker. That's it. As far as I know, there's no other differences. Because the artwork on the internal thing, I think, is the same for non-numbered releases. You know what? Some of them, like this one, did come with a book, so I assume the regular ones don't have the book. Do I really think all these people read the book? I almost never do. I only read it for the Cynthia Rothrock ones. I don't bother. Because most of the special features on the disc are going to cover everything that book says anyway. I'm just being honest about it. I don't ever read the book. And the poster's for shit, because it's all folded up. If they sent you a rolled poster...
Yeah, that always ruins it, doesn't it? Hey, limited poster. We folded into tiny little bits for you.
Yeah. It just shows that they don't care about the poster. Now, to be fair, the thing they care about is the more important thing, which is restoring the film.
The movie, yeah.
So fine. If you're going to fall down on the poster, which honestly, I got no fucking room for anyway. So if you're going to, trip on your own dick going down the stairs, do it on the poster, but hold the sacred bottle of wine, which is the film, above your head, even when you land on your face. And if that's the film, then you did your job right. So it's fine. Anyway, I watched the first one. Fucking fantastic. It is a mix of two things. And this is one thing I didn't really think about before watching this movie, really on the top of my mind. But the only thing that Cynthia Rothrock films really don't have is a lot of explosions and gunfighting. They have some guns and occasional explosions. Like, Yes, Madam's a good example. The beginning has Michelle Yeoh shooting. There are guns used here and there. But you don't get big extended machine gun hallway hard-boiled scenes. That's what hard-boiled has.
No, you don't. No, yeah.
No, what you get is close quarters combat.
That was Chow Yun-Fat's domain for a long time.
Oh yeah, I mean that's John Woo's bread and butter is cinematic gunplay with doves, right? And that Chow Yun-Fat was the beginning of all that. Not the beginning, but he was one of the big things of it. This movie takes the two of those elements and does them very well together. And it alternates them really well. So it's that whole thing of pacing. Starts off and it's like a fucking war film. Just fucking machine guns, explosions, people squibs, their heads are blowing up, everything. All of it. War film. Vietnam, looks like. It's the government is going out to try to wipe out opium fields. Flamethrowers all over. I mean, and I'm not talking about little explosions. I'm talking about big explosions, because a lot of movies of this type, the explosions can be very puny. They can be, a little dirt comes up, poof. Little dust cloud, and poof, some dirt comes up and flies around. This is fireball, like somebody had a gas can with a thing over it, and they blew it the fuck up.
Yeah, you know
big
what?
Big stuff.
Was it recently I showed my kids The Bourne Identity for the first time? And I always love that scene where he's where Clive Owen is shooting at him from the hill. And he walks out of the farmhouse, and he shoots the... oh God, what is it? It's like the oil tank, and that thing just blows up. Like it's just this massive explosion. And I'm always like,
Right.
I don't think it would blow up like that, but I fucking love it anyway.
No, if you watch how they do those explosions, it's really, really fascinating the way that they make those big fireballs. No, it wouldn't be. It would not be a giant fireball going up in the sky. It would just be a pop and flame. So it would blow up, but it would be
I
a
love
pop.
it anyway. It's cinematic.
No, but I would recommend for people, if it is worth seeing how there's a way they shape the way fuel ignites, and it's like fucking ballet. It's great.
Oh, it is,
because you realize that it's artistry to making that fireball work like that. You have to shape the way the detonation
it's like fireworks.
happens.
How do they get fireworks to do the shit that they do? It's a controlled explosion.
Yes, with literal direction of energy to make it bigger and more bombastic. So that's what it starts out of, and then we cut to a so 80s it's awesome scene where there's a bunch of people around a table who are all the crime bosses, and the old man in charge gets supplanted by this fucking hardcore evil woman who's awesome, and she gets off on torturing people. She's Xena on a top before GoldenEye, where she just likes torturing people. It like gets her juices flowing. So she's like sitting there watching her men whip guys bloody while she's eating, and she's like licking her lips. It's fucking magnificent. It's great. My favorite kind of evil villain, because I love Xena on the top. So this is the... Actually, where's this movie from? Hold on. I'm trying to remember what country this is. I keep wanting to say it's Philippines, but I may be wrong. Let me make sure. It is... I don't think it is actually Philippines, but it could be. Let's see. Where is it from? Thailand. It's Thai. Oh, no, that's where it's filmed. Country of origins, Hong Kong, Taiwan. Okay, so it is a Hong Kong film. Okay. So, but it's set in Thailand. I believe it is actually set there. So this woman says, all right, we're going to war with Interpol. And she starts just having Interpol agents assassinated. And all the rest of the crime bosses are like, I don't know, might not be the best idea to piss the cops off, because now they're going to really come down on us. And she's like, I don't care. I get off on blood. Let's kill them all. And she just starts ordering people to kill everybody. And they're wiping these people out all over the place. So the local government, the army, is overmatched, and they're like, shit, we're screwed. We don't have enough money to be able to fight a war on all these fronts. Like they're killing people everywhere. What are we going to do? And sure enough, an American, who is not an American agent walks in and says, hello, I'm from America and we hate drugs. So we're willing to bankroll to any extent whatever you need to do. And they're like, yay, we're going to assemble the Angels, who already exist. So the Angels are basically the MI whatever group. So like we're even calling in Angel 001. Like we're supposed to know what the fuck that means. But you know what it means. It's Ethan Hunt of this group. And Ethan Hunt happens to be a martial arts master who's also very handsome and suave, but not obnoxiously so. Like he's not aware of how handsome he is. He's not like one of the ones.
Oh, good.
Like,
I'm glad he's not aware.
No, he's he doesn't look in the mirror and lick his own face. So he's a nice version of the handsome, highly talented agent. So it's him and two women, and so it's 2 men, 2 women, and then the American bankrolling guy. But really, the second guy is more of the planner. He's more of the Hannibal. He doesn't really get his hands dirty. It's really Angel 001, and then Moon and... What's the other one's name? It's Moon and Ellie, I think. And Moon is kind of the professional of the 2 women. Ellie is a little bit of a loose cannon. She's, very flirty and doesn't take things seriously. And they keep chastising her for it, and she just plays it off, and she's like, oh, don't worry about it. We're going to make it work. And she's the hot one. And so she can be carefree. And Moon is kind of the slightly less hot one who takes everything a little bit more seriously. And so her and 001, start that, like, they do the whole thing. You remember in Ronin, where De Niro and Natasha McElhone, I don't never how to pronounce her last name, the Irish woman, are in the car, and they don't want to be discovered, so they start making out. And at first it's just a cover, and then they start making out for real. They basically do that. And they realize, we got the hots for each other, but we'll have to wait till the mission's over, right? So that's the kind of, dramatic thing in the background. So they're going along, and they slowly are trying to piece together what's going on. And so the movie mostly is them trying to figure out, because they find out that this woman has some kind of secret plan. There's like something where she's not worried about having her opium blown up because she has a secondary method of making a bunch of money. And they don't know what it is. So really what they're trying to do is literally Mission Impossible style. They're climbing up buildings. They're like sneaking in and taking pictures with little microfilm cameras, the little like clicky cameras. So they're doing all that stuff. And they're going along. And they're shooting people and they're kicking people along the way. So there's all kinds of great stunt work. Great car driving. They have a stunt, there's a stunt car coordinator involved. And they're jumping cars and doing all kinds of crazy shit. And they come to find out that she doesn't actually care about drugs. What she actually has is a scheme where she's going to sell fake melted down gold to dumb foreign countries based on the fact that she's going to steal real gold and just keep it. But because she'll have had the theft and that will make the news, these countries will pay her and assume that the gold is real. And once they find out,
so
she's not worried about it because
the stolen gold, they'll assume that she's selling the stolen gold.
Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's basically making these gold copies of things but publicizing this big bank robbery, but she's keeping the gold for herself. But brilliantly, one of the little things I actually like, and there's another movie where this type of thing happens and I can't remember what it is. I just can't remember. But one of the other sub-bosses of the crime family doesn't like what she's doing. But she's the most powerful one in the group right now. She has the most men. She's the most ruthless. She's the smartest. So he's like, whatever, I have to go along with this because it's that, or she's going to fucking kill me. Because she kills the old man. She at one point wipes out the Marlon Brando of the Godfather character and just takes him out. She's like, I'm running shit now, bitches. I own you. And they're all like, yeah, she kind of does. And so they go along with it. But at one point, Angel 001 finds this guy and he sends a woman because he sees this guy at dinner and he has a daughter. And he's like, all right, I want you to find somebody, take the daughter to SeaWorld. Take her over there. We just want to get her away from the father, and I'm going to talk to him. And so he goes up to him and he's like, all right, just so you know, we have your daughter. And he's like, you bastard. He's like, I'm not going to hurt your daughter. I'm not a fucking monster. But you have to understand that we know you have a weakness. And if we know, she knows. And you don't agree with what she's doing anyway. So, why don't you just give me this information and I'm going to take her out because I don't care about what you're doing. You're small time. She's trying to do big time shit. And the guy's like, nope, I will fight you. And so they fight. And there's a part where Angel 001 flips him over a railing in a car, like a parking garage, and then grabs him and pulls him up and says, yeah, I'm not going to kill you. I'm not trying to kill you. I'm just trying to get information. And the guy's like, well, yeah, but you're going to arrest me. He's like, no, I'm not going to arrest you. I'm not a cop. I'm a secret agent. I mean, he doesn't say secret agent. He's like, I just need to stop whatever she's doing because it's got global repercussions.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, oh, all right, well, in that case, since you don't care about arresting me, and you technically did save my life, he's like, all right, I'll tell you. And so he tells him, I don't know everything, but I know it has to do with a code, and it has to do with something to do with Japan. And he's like, okay, thanks. Oh, by the way, your daughter's fine. She's already back at your house because, I'm a man of my word. He's like, all right, great. And they kind of part on even terms. So they discover that there's this gold swapping thing. That's the end point. So Angel 001 secretly gets into the gold bullion van because they don't quite know about they know she wants the gold. They don't know she's going to do the swap. So they bury the van in concrete so that no one will know that the gold wasn't taken out of the van. So they basically they trick the van.
Concrete.
Yeah, they bury the 001 and the driver of the van in concrete. The driver of the van dies. 001 goes into like a meditation thing. So he's able to lower how much oxygen and everything and like keep his body temperature down just long enough for the guy he saved earlier with the daughter to show up and start like jackhammering the concrete. Now that the news has already been published, the swap shit's already been sold. So now they can take the gold out because it doesn't matter at this point. And so he does it just in the nick of time. And of course, 001 busts out. And he's like, he's like, kung fu fighting. At which point, because the other agents have cracked the case, but Ellie's like distraught because she thinks she got 001 killed she thinks she got the other guy killed because the other guy, the planner, gets at one point the evil boss lady has him And they go and bust into her house, which is a fucking awesome thing. There's like grenades. There's just shit blowing up. I mean, some of the fucking stunts in this thing are fantastic. And they go in and they find him, and she notices that he is without any scratches and he's being fed really good food, which I thought meant he was going to be a double agent. Mm-hmm. But what she says is, no. It's not that he's a double agent, because they figure out he's loyal. She's attracted to him, so she's not beating him up. She wants to fuck him in front of the guys that are being beat up. So she's like, you should be bait. But she's wrong. The woman's like, you think I give a fuck? And she starts like beating the shit out of him and torturing him. And when she finds out, like, she's all distraught because she miscalculated. So no, in fact, this woman's like, no, I don't care. I'll fuck you when you're all cut up as well as I will when you're not. It's just happened that they didn't do anything because she wasn't concerned about him at the time. She was organizing all the other stuff. So they miscalculate that. So they go and, but he does manage to signal to them what the Japanese code thing, like they figure it out. And that's how they know about the swap. So 001, the guy's beating him up, and then all the cops show up along with the angels, and they go to arrest him, and he's like, no, leave him, because I'm not a cop, so I don't care if they arrest him. And they almost part as buddies, even though he's running a criminal empire. But it's like, nah, you know what? Me and this guy, we're all right. We get each other. Let him go. I'm like, this is fucking great. It doesn't make any goddamn sense that the cops would actually listen to them and not arrest them. But it's just like, and they do like a bro shake thing, and it's fucking great. It's like the shit at the beginning of Predator where they do the arm thing. And
oh,
like,
yeah,
I'm not a cop.
That shakes the earth, yeah.
It's fucking great. It's just, It's delightfully dumb, but I kind of adore it. So anyway, then we get to this big end fight in a warehouse with the evil woman. And there is a point, and they use dummies really well in this movie, where one of the women, the evil woman jumps, the other woman grabs her by the leg, and it's obviously cuts to a dummy. And she whips her entire body into a piece of metal siding and knocks her the fuck out, and it looks amazing. Like, the dummy's really good, but I don't think I've ever seen a movie where one human being, except for the Friday the 13th, where he takes somebody in a body sleeping bag and bashes them against a tree.
Oh, yeah,
but even
God, that scene is hilarious.
But that's very brute force. This is artistry, where she whips this dummy around, or the woman, and smashes her fucking face into metal siding, which you think kills her. It doesn't, but it almost does. But it looks so painful. It's great. But there's a lot of really good fighting. And then, of course, they do end up, she gets shot in the head, and the angels all come out victorious, and the movie ends. So, they win. It's great. I really can't believe that I never saw this movie before. I mean, I guess I did. It's a Hong Kong movie.
I haven't even heard of it, so.
I hadn't either, but I watched the trailer, and I kept reading that, this female director, Teresa Wu, they're like, she should be as well known as anybody else. And watching this one, apparently the second one is supposed to even be better, but I already know one of the angels gets raped, and I'm like, God damn it. Do we really have to do that?
We had this the other day, because there was a movie we were going to watch. And then I didn't realize that they were rapey movies, and I was like, I'm not in the mood for that. I'm sorry. Like, that has become a thing that as I've gotten older, I realized that.
No, I hate it.
I don't have the stomach for it.
I know.
I just don't.
Yeah. And I know it's going to happen in the second movie, but it's like, well, I'm still going to watch it because it is. She gets revenge. So, I mean, there's that, but I'm just like, the first movie has none of that.
Yeah.
The first movie, in fact, if anything, the one guy almost gets raped by the evil woman, but even that doesn't happen. She's just like, I can do whatever I want to, and I'm going to. And then it never happens because hijinks ensue. But, which I'm not saying male rape is good. I'm just saying that even that movie, it's not my point.
You're like, trying to say that I almost made a mission statement there.
Well, I don't want somebody to say I'm claiming that there's legitimate
Joe
rape,
says
because we know that's happened.
Male rape is fine.
No.
He really wanted it in the end anyway.
Yeah, well, I don't think that was the case with this. No. So no, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that it was something I expected to happen.
Yeah.
Because this is, a lesser known, and especially with what I'm sure were the demands of these movies at the time. I mean, I'm assuming a lot of the producers and people involved were probably men, and they were probably like, well, I mean, literally, there's only one very brief instance of nudity.
But what we could really use is some rape. Do you think you could get some more rape in there for us?
or just nudity. So usually, this is the thing. Usually, if there's not nudity, right? You remember?
Yeah.
Oh, what is it? Oh no, wait, that you didn't watch that. Only I watched that. There's a movie where for a while I don't remember what it was called. Where I'm like, wow, they're not making this character be nude anywhere. That's amazing. And then of course there was a rape scene. I'm like, oh, of course, because somehow a woman has to be demeaned of this era. There's no way a woman can't, except for luckily the Cynthia Rothrock films where it never happens.
I'm gonna say this, and it's not a good thing, but it's the whole, to have a revenge movie, you need something that there has to be revenge for.
Sure, but it's okay. I'll say it this way.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's great.
No,
I'm just saying that in general, that's usually, like, you can't have the bad thing, without having you can't have the revenge without the crime. You know what I mean?
I don't disagree, but it is seldom done in a way that doesn't feel like they're trying to also draft off of it that you can see boobies.
Well, I think what gets really scary is when you have a director who tries to make a rape scene sexy.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm pointing out.
That's when you get into really scary territory there.
Yeah, there is a. Actually, wait a minute. I'm trying to remember if we did watch a movie where there was a rape scene, but it's over so quick that.
We haven't seen one.
No, okay, so we didn't watch. So there's one that I watched where you realize that this woman is going to get raped, but it instantly cuts to after it happening. That's the best possible way that I can think of if you have to have it where it's not showing it. Because a lot of times, there's just she's fully lit and her tits are in the camera's face. It is made to be like oh, guys, yeah, this is bad. We know this is bad, but look at her chest. Holy shit, huh? Whereas this movie did it where as soon as she gets cornered, you see the guys and you see what they're about to do, and then it cuts to the next day and it's happened. So we know what's happened, but there's been no lingering on it. There is no gratuity to it.
Yeah.
That is, if you're going to have it, that's the only way I would want to ever see it is, all right, I know this happened. In fact, if you think about the way that male rape is often handled, that is typically, for example, The Shawshank Redemption has a scene where Andy Dufresne is raped by a bunch of other male inmates. You don't see it. In fact, it's only really talked about because they cut before you actually see anything. Because, it's a man. Not much we can show there because we can't show penises or it's NC-17. Plus, I'm pretty sure the director didn't want to see it.
Is a penis automatically NC-17?
Full frontal? I believe so. If it's in a sexual violence situation, I think so, yeah.
Interesting. All
right. Don't forget, in Japanese films, they blur out pubic hair.
They blur everything, yeah.
Well, no, they don't blur everything. They blur out anything below the belt. The breasts are fine. So, I'm not going to say it's automatic, but I'm pretty sure if they were to depict that scene with any length, don't take that as a pun, I mean in terms of seeing things, I'm pretty sure that would push it into different territory. So, if anything, it would all have to be in shadow. But like I said, that's a big budget movie where a man was raped and you don't really see anything. You only know it happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Then all I'm saying is let's have the same thing for women, which is not generally the case. So I'm going to watch the second one, but I'm kind of pissed off because I know what's in it.
You know it's there, yeah.
But at least the first one doesn't do any of that. There really is none of that. In fact, they don't even do any type of jokes at women's sexuality expense. They kind of avoid all the typical stuff. And I'm pretty sure the same woman did all three. Let me check that, actually. Let me see. Did she do all the movies? 1987. Let's take a look. The sequel. Oh, well, it's just called Angel in some places. Let's see. The second one is called, Iron Angels 2. And yeah, it's directed. Yeah, directed, and she was one of the writers. So, I mean, she was involved. I guess that does change the calculus a little. Maybe. That it was a female director and writer who felt the scene was necessary. So maybe it will be done the way I'm talking about.
You'll see how she does it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen,
the UK
what's the
version
movie
actually cut it.
Is it Witness with Jodie Foster?
Yeah, and Harrison Ford.
No.
No, wait, Jodie Foster. No, that's not Witness.
No, that's the one where she gets raped in the pinball machine.
I don't
Have you
think
not
I
seen
saw
that
that
movie?
Jodie Foster one. Nope, guess
Oh,
not.
Jesus. Oh, God. Hold on one second. What is that?
I'm fine not seeing it.
No, it's
Jodie Foster pinball.
yeah, just
I just look
pinball
up
rape
Jodie
movie.
Foster pinball. The Accused.
There it is. Okay.
There you go. As
That
soon as I
movie
put Jodie
has
Foster pinball, came right up. That tells you something.
that movie has a horrible rape scene. And it
Yeah.
is not sexy in the slightest. It is
Yeah.
horrifying, and the movie is pivoted on it, on how terrible
Well,
it
that's
is.
why I won't watch Irreversible. I will
Oh
never watch that
God.
movie.
Oh
Yeah,
God. Yeah.
I don't need that. I don't care how well
Yeah.
it's done. I don't need it.
No, and that's
A
exactly
movie
it.
that
You
goes
don't-
backwards, showing a character who's actually happy and knowing that it's all going to end. Nah,
yeah,
I'm
you
good.
don't- You
Thanks.
don't need it in your life. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you. Like, give that shit to the people who want it. I'm not. one
I'll
of them.
just keep
So,
going. Thank you.
that's right. It's like if somebody's selling, I don't know, sushi at a stand on the side of the road in 115-degree heat. You know what? Nope. Good. I mean, I wouldn't eat sushi anyway, but I sure shit wouldn't eat it in that scenario. So.
No, really? Are
thank
you
you.
sure? I mean, come on. That sounds pretty good.
Very, very,
It's probably
very,
2 for 1.
very sure. Highly confident.
I couldn't
that's
be
a,
sure.
That's a hard no. That's not a soft no.
Yeah.
That's a hard no.
I know. And the thing is, like, sushi is one of those easy, that looks like it'll kill me type situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or actually, here I'll give you the actual perfect scenario. Selling pufferfish on a side stand.
You know what?
115-degree feet.
My child recently, my son recently, we were joking around about, you ever at Wawa's, always got these like commercials where they're like, come have pizza at the Wawa, right? And we're always kind of like, that's the worst possible pizza you could have. And we always joke around about, oh, get sushi at the Wawa. My son out of nowhere was like, hey, let's go get puffer fish at the Wawa. So, yes. All right,
You realize you will have to explain what Wawa is because not everybody's on the East Coast.
Oh, it's like a 7-Eleven gas station. It's like a little mini convenience store that sometimes has a gas
Out
station.
here, they would say an AM PM.
Oh, okay, it's different. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You don't want to buy
Are
food.
AM PMs out there?
No.
You don't have AM PM? Yeah, the same thing.
No, I had no idea what they are.
It's the same thing. It's just called AM PM.
But it's I don't want food.
There's literally a commercial where somebody comes in and does all their grocery shopping there. It's like, well, okay, now you're stretching it. Because everything in there is so good you could eat it. It's like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, I don't agree.
I
Yeah.
very much disagree.
Wawa is good for coffee. Get coffee, get on your way.
Sure.
Get coffee, get a soda. But no.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
So. Well, I'm glad that it was good, and I am glad to have it added to our list of movies.
Yeah, we'll
that
watch that at some
apparently
point.
I have to see.
It's fucking good. Yep.
Because it is fucking good.
It is.
So.
But that is not the movie we watched. So let me intro the movie that we watched.
Yeah.
Thanks for killing my mom.
Oops, sorry.
So let's set up. I'm going to let you set up why we watched what we watched. So why did we watch
it?
History of the Occult?
We were supposed to watch something else. Joe sent me this movie actually a while ago, and we had it in like kind of a short list of movies to watch. And then we were going to watch something else, and I realized I was just not in the mood to watch it. So at the very last minute, and literally at the very last minute, I think minutes before we were gonna jump on, I said, "Hey, let's watch another movie instead tonight." And I think we both went in pretty cold to what it was. I knew nothing about it, and I think you said you knew a
I knew the
tiny bit
rough
about
outlines of it in comparison to Late Night with the Devil.
And
so
I have to say
I knew it was comparable.
That of the movies we've watched together since we started doing this like kind of late night movie thing together, I have to say that after Megaopolis, which is still a surprising success, this is probably one of the the most fun movies we've watched together. I really enjoyed this.
Yes.
Really enjoyed this. So you always present storyline much better for this. So I'm going to leave that to you. What I'm going to say about this movie is that it is a master class in the use of conventional sort of special effects to deliver a reality warping experience. There is no crazy computer graphics in this. There is no no it all feels so very grounded and domestic. And yet, and even though I realized something, they're literally using effects that they used in as in Smallville, where you know how everyone goes from being like black and white to color. But the way that color is used in this movie, the way that the what do you call it? The aspect ratio is used in this movie. It is all just so clever. It is a very small, well written, well thought out movie, and I just find it to be. I mean, I know that I don't think it's a horror movie. I think that it's like it's an occult movie. It's a mind altering. It's very Lovecraft in that respect. But like I don't feel like it's because when you say horror these days, everyone's like, oh, like I was trying to explain to my wife that it was this horror movie, and she was like, oh, so it's got monsters and blood and guts and shit like that. I'm like, no, it's not that way at all. I was like, this is a very refined occult political movie dealing with the possibility of altered realities. And I enjoyed the fuck out of it. Like I said, I don't want to say this is my favorite movie we've watched together because I still think we had a really good time watching Megapolis. But I mean, there was a lot of time when we were watching this where like I had very little to say because I was sitting there going, what the fuck is going to happen now? What's going to happen now? What's going to happen now? Like, and for being only an hour and a half too. I mean, this movie gets to it. And still feels like it takes its time, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So no, I have to say this is a masterclass movie, man. Like I would tell anybody to see this movie. You know, everyone's gonna get something different out of it. You might fucking not get it, but watch it. 'Cause it's so fucking clever. I mean, regardless of what you think is happening by the end of this movie. Which I'd love to know people's like counter ideas. I'd love to know what your counter idea is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so before I'll lay out the story in a second, but let me ask you this: did you look up anything on this movie between us watching it and now?
No.
And I did because I was trying to figure out. Ironically, I thought there was a Death Stranding 2 connection, which I'll explain.
I was letting this movie just roll around my head.
Well, I was trying to find out one specific thing, at which point I realized I think both of us either forgot about or missed something really important to the ending.
Okay, what's
so,
that?
Well, what year did this take place in?
I have no idea. I can't remember.
All right. Well, all right. So we'll get to that.
Okay.
Because that is significant. So here's the premise of the film. The movie is, well, I guess I'll just, because I have to, it's part of the premise. The movie is set in Buenos Aires in 1987. And it is the final airing of an investigative an investigative journalism program that essentially is 60 minutes, but this is called 60 Minutes Before Midnight.
60 Minutes
essentially,
to Midnight.
it's to midnight, yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing, just so I don't forget.
200 hours later.
Okay. So, God, that movie. There's another great movie. Anyway, so it is concerning a president who the journalists at this station, particularly the anchor, I think, is supposed to be the one really, spearheading this. They're looking into allegations that this president named Velasco, very specific name, is tied to a company called Kingdom Corporation. And if you've ever seen the Lars von Trier series, that is suspected of using witchcraft. And so this is the anchor, the Cronkite stand-in, and 3 guests. 1, who is a warlock, and 2, another one is a senator, and the third one is an author.
Who goes right into the fact that he's a warlock, too. I love that there's no beating around the bush with that. He gets in there and he's like, yes, I'm a practicer of black magic, and I'm a warlock, and just very run-of-the-mill. Actually,
the funniest part is he's like, oh, yeah, I'm a warlock, but I'm not part of that company anymore, just so we're all clear. Like, the embarrassment, the thing makes everybody know is not that he's not a warlock, it's that he's not part of the company. He's not on the payroll. Yeah, I'm a warlock, but I'm freelance.
Yeah, but fuck those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck those guys. I'm freelance warlock. Those guys, no good. Bad warlocks. So the movie is really just this program. It's in real time, as far as we can tell, more or less.
There's the program studio. There's a house where the executive or the producers
some of the people, the producers are hiding out because they are concerned that the president or his henchmen are going to get them. And then there is a woman who is out there looking for something. Yeah, and we don't know what it is until the very end of the movie. So she's just kind of going around and calling in from phone booths saying, hey, I'm still out here.
I'm here.
Being followed, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I haven't found it yet, but I'm here. And so the movie's going along. And as the movie goes along, there's 2 major things that happen. One is that we're finding out that the warlock is saying that the company and the president are trying to alter reality in some way and have already done it.
And he keeps telling people that they're missing children.
Yes, there's talking about.
One guy, he's like, you used to have 3 children, now you have 2. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? I've always had 2 children. He's like, no, you gave one of them up, and you don't remember them.
And one thing I did read is that this in particular will have or will have significant resonance for people who are in Argentina, because apparently there was a rash of people being disappeared during a tyrannical regime.
No, hold on. It's not just Argentina, okay? So any government, any Hispanic government that had some kind of dictatorial president come in, right? They love to disappear people. It's a great dictator move. So, like, part of the reason my father left Cuba when he did after the revolution, because he was fighting. He was a revolutionary, but he wasn't fighting for Cuba's group. He was fighting for a different group. His friends were either outright shot, or they were quietly disappeared in the night, and no one asked. No one knows where they went. They were probably dead. But it's the whole, they just show up in the night and take you, and no one would know anything. So it's like that idea. I spotted that right away, that metaphor to the idea of people being disappeared in a dictator government, especially in South America or the Caribbean.
Well, yes, it is universal, but it is set in Buenos Aires, so it's specific to things that went on. They said this was intentionally. This is kind of like a story about slavery in America. Well, that can apply to slavery anywhere, but since it's set in America, it means more to people. Who, that's what I'm saying. It will have a different impact. I get that. Yeah. But obviously, yes, most tyrants don't like people who criticize them. That is fairly universal, and they will take that out very violently in whatever Gestapo ways they want, or they'll just deport you. But let's not linger on current events. So the other thing that happens is there's a point where the individual who's been feeding them this information says, look, if you're not getting anywhere with the interview, you're going to have to take some drugs, meaning the producers.
Well, he doesn't just say drugs. He says they're going to have to go through this ritual to see things that they may not be able to see, and he gives them basically like a list of things that they have to say while they take this drug.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't happen till later. They take the drugs way before the ritual, because then they start. Well, some of them start seeing things that we don't know.
The one guy takes them right away, and I have questions for you why you think certain people do and do not survive.
Well, the survive thing is interesting, because I don't know whether those people are dead. So let's go through it. So So at a certain point, they all, the woman, the female producer is the last one to take the drug.
Maria is not happy about it.
And I think that's why they don't do the ritual until they all take it. And then they all sit at the table. They do this ritual. And this is right as the show is coming to an end. And a bunch of shit happens, which results in one seat has ash on it. And there is a body on the floor that the woman claims that the person who is now Ash killed and then attacked her and she had to kill him. We see none of this.
No.
So this is all what's being told to us as the audience by people under the influence of a powerful hallucinogenic drug.
But to be fair,
on top of
the guy who's Ash does see basically like a fireball coming towards him.
Well, all right, we're going to get to what he sees because this is a significant thing that I read about, which so
you're bringing in the outside here. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm trying to present this objectively and then come to this. So, but again, under hallucinogens, and also the pressure of not knowing what's going on and thinking that the government might bust down their door any minute. So,
yes, of course.
Lots of stuff going on.
Lots of stuff.
No, nothing specifically contradicts what this woman says, but we as the audience don't see anything of it. In fact, when we see the guy who supposedly was the aggressor, he sure looks like he's being attacked based on what he's seeing. So hard to say. But significantly, the only color we see until the very end of the movie is red.
Oh, it's red, yeah.
Yes, and at one point we see somebody peeling wall paint and red's coming through it.
Yeah, but it was funny because I started to wonder if red was a negative color because when the other people, when they do finally have visions, the people who see red have a negative reaction, and the people who just get color see true things, to my knowledge.
Yes. I don't know whether I would say red is a negative color.
All right.
Because the one guy who the tape recorder has a red light when a woman hears a voice coming from a tape recorder with no tape in it.
Yep, that's beckoning her. Yeah,
correct. A guy peels paint from a wall and has a red light come out and shoot him in the eye.
Yeah.
Although it's not like he goes blind, so there's no real negative impact of it. It just happens to hit him in the eye like a laser pointer. And then the guy with the hood on his head sees red, but then he also turns into a skull and there's a hand with a knife. So I don't know what that means. And then he's Ash. So, I don't know. So then we get to the end of the movie, and basically the senator walks out because he's being told that he's got a child he doesn't remember, and he gets pissed off.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm a senator. Fuck you, asshole. And he leaves.
Right. The author of a book debunking the Warlock story gets a horrific bunch of orifice bleeds on his face and has to leave and go to the hospital, but apparently is alive. And the only person left is the Warlock, who becomes increasingly distraught and starts saying, the president's tied to these things. He's like, blah, blah, blah. And then at the very end, the girl who's been running around the phone
you got to get
booths,
to the shit he says, where he starts telling him you're not in Argentina. You don't know where you really are. You're in an alternate reality. They're making a deal with us beings from another dimension.
And that's what I was going to say. He starts confirming things that are accusations. One of them being that the company has made a deal with entities from another world. And we do see a tentacle at one point.
We do, yeah. And we see a creature with glowing eyes.
Yeah, for a second. And then we see a burned man two or three times.
Yeah.
There's some man with burning flesh. But we're not really sure if everybody sees him, because clearly the woman who doesn't have drugs doesn't see him. He's standing right in front of her. The guy who took the drugs sees him the most consistently. So things are popping up, but that's about the most of what we see of anything outside of us.
Yes.
And then, he says, we've made a deal. The number of children starts changing because at the end, the guy, the one young guy starts to maybe figure out what's going on.
Well, he remembers him and Maria, the two of the producers, have a vision, and they both have a vision, and in the vision, it's a bit of history where there's a character that we don't know talking to them, and they all know him, and they're all friendly with him, and you realize that this is somebody that has been disappeared, and in remembering him, it changes their reality because suddenly they start remembering the things that have been stolen from them.
Well, but I think he puts it together when the warlock says, well, if I tell you that you have a child, then you'll remember. Or if I don't, you won't. Because I think he's putting together two things. He's putting the pieces together. That guy's figuring it out. So they realize now that the count of children for certain people has changed, which means that something is being altered.
Yep.
And then the warlock basically confirms all these things and says, and then the woman from the phone booth shows up, and the thing that she's been trying to track down.
Well, they give her the address. Yeah, they give her the address to one of these.
She goes.
It's some sort of one of these magical buildings that they're using of some kind.
Correct.
Yeah.
Of some kind. And she shows up and she's got an iPhone or whatever the equivalent is or whatever it is, a smartphone. She gives it to the warlock and he says, he's talking to his daughter and he says, go get this book, which apparently is a real book.
Now, here's the thing. His daughter, I thought his daughter was someone that had been disappeared and the phone allowed him to contact her wherever she was.
Well, you already have not even picked up on the main thing there.
Okay.
This movie's set in 1987.
Yeah. Oh, there's no cell phones. There's no iPhones.
We didn't realize it watching it because I didn't realize what year it was.
Shit.
We saw the rotary phones.
Yeah.
But there are rotary phones still in use.
Fuck me. God damn it.
Yeah. So when
I fucking missed that completely. Son of a bitch.
Too.
I totally forgot what year it was.
I think they only said it early on. And I think it's actually on the bottom of the screen, but the subtitles are over it.
Son of a bitch.
Yes. So neither of us, if you hear the commentary, neither of us pick up on this.
No, not at all. Because it just, I listen, I'll be honest with you. I just thought that it looked like rundown South America. I didn't think twice that it was literally 1991. I
thought
that it was 87. Is it 87 or 91?
Yeah, 87. No, 87. 87.
It's 87. Yeah, so fucking hell. I totally missed that.
I thought they were using old phone lines because they can't be tapped as easily. Like it's not cell phones. You can't tap into it.
So what the fuck does that mean?
All right. So here's the thing.
So have they been tapped out of the timeline?
No. Well, okay. Let me get to it. So we're at the end of the movie. He gets the cell phone. He's talking to his daughter. He says, go get this book. The title of the book is something like The Things We Lost in the Fire, which is apparently a real book, an Argentinian book about the occult. And he says, find this page and find this piece of paper with words on it and read them out loud. Right?
Yeah.
And then he says, all right, because it's counting down to midnight, and midnight's when something's supposed to happen. So right as the countdown hits, he starts to say something.
Yeah, he starts to say a word, and they cut the feed.
It gets cut. Now, the subtitles say the letters K-A.
Yes. Yeah.
And in Death Stranding 2, coincidentally, when Dead Man discovers his beach, he's talking about something called the Ha and the Ka, H-A and K-A. And I went, wait, is this related? And I looked up what the Ka is.
Yeah.
It is, in fact, an Egyptian concept in the afterlife of a virtual self, a second self. And I started to go, holy shit, is this like a doppelganger? Like I'm starting to go into like fucking, putting pins on a thing, whatever. Because I thought I'd accidentally gotten a clue.
In some kind of bizarre afterlife?
So I looked up, I said, history of the occult ending, just to see if anybody mentioned.
God. So there, okay, go ahead.
And I found this thing where somebody said, okay, I'm not really sure what happened. And that person said, but they got a cell phone in 1987, so what does that mean? And I went, oh shit, I didn't even fucking pick that up.
Yeah, abso-fucking-lutely, yeah. I mean, fucking hell.
But the one thing we left out is right after the screen cuts, we then see.
Oh, yeah. Well, hold on, Maria. No. So first it cuts to Maria and the other producer who are still alive, and they're in the room, and basically they're like, "Oh shit, nothing happened," right?
Yes.
And then when it cuts back to Cronkite and the studio, they're all in full aspect ratio in fucking color, and the warlock is turned to dust.
Yes.
So something happened.
Was he dust or was he just gone? I can't
He
remember.
was dust. He was dust
He was
in the
dust.
chair.
Okay. I couldn't remember if he actually.
You know
turned
what?
to
Hold
dust or
on.
not.
Hold on. I got the movie right here.
Yeah,
I will tell you.
just scrub to it. See if he's actually dead or just gone.
If I suddenly disappear,
I just don't
we know
remember
why.
because I don't have the movie right in front of me.
Hold on.
So I don't think. Do I? No, I don't. I don't have the movie.
I
right
can
in front of me.
confirm that. Or I can
Yeah,
do
just
something
do me
much
a favor.
better. I can show you. Sorry, I just got to the one scene.
Yeah.
He says Khan, and the woman says Channel 6 across the county. Yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, nothing
Knocked
happened.
out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And let's see. Come
And
on,
then
show
they're
me
gonna
the
show
scene.
the two
Show
of
me the
them. I'm
scene.
just
Come on.
curious. Yeah.
And then it cuts back to him, to Cronkite,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything is.
In color.
Are you still playing? Come on, fucker.
It's super HDR color.
Yeah. Hold on. It's taking its time
Okay.
to go back.
That's fine.
God damn it! You know
I
that
just don't
scene
remember.
is so fast. I accidentally skipped right over it.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
It's like 2 seconds.
I gotta get the goddamn Jeopardy theme so I can be playing it for stuff like this because this will not be the last time we have to do something like this.
Yeah, I
But
know.
don't
So let's
actually
see.
have, I don't
So
have Jeopardy music. I don't have waiting.
does he
music
look
like that.
over? Shit. You know what? I don't even. I think maybe I.
Does
Oh
he
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
look?
He's smoke. He's turned to smoke. There is a smoke puff where he was sitting.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
and everything is color.
all right. So there's a puff of smoke. So we don't
Yeah.
really know what happened to him, but he's not
Yeah.
confirmed as dead. He's just not there.
Dead or alive.
So-
You're coming with me. Yeah.
So when I went to find this thing,
Yeah.
I saw this explanation and I realized that what I thought was KA is likely not what he actually said. That's not the first two letters of the word.
Okay.
So you have to remember, the Cronkite and the woman from the phone booth were in the room and heard what he said.
Yeah, and it set them
Right?
free, or something.
Well, you're almost there. What the word he said was color. Because the rest of the movie, when they get the peaks of that
Did they
red
forget?
light,
Did they
that's-
forget color?
Yes, they're trapped in the past because they don't know what year it is. And by saying color, you advance them up. So that's why the cell phone, they don't realize what that is. Nobody knows what that is.
So they're basically in an alternate demonic reality where these wizards have basically locked this whole society up so they can control
Yes.
it, and they're trapped in time.
Right.
Oh
So
shit!
they're trapped in the past because the theory from these individuals, and it makes sense, is because they can just keep stealing children. And by keeping them trapped, there's no way for them to coordinate, know from the web, anything. They can't coordinate anything. They won't know all this is happening everywhere. They think it's local to this president. They don't realize that kids are disappearing everywhere. And
Yeah, but is this
It
the
makes
world or is this just
sense.
Argentina?
no, this would be the world. Because these are like elder gods that they're feeding these kids to, which makes sense. We saw a tentacle.
I know, but I got the
I mean,
sense that it was the president of this country.
Oh, no.
And it was-
Velasco is only the Argentinian president, but Kingdom Corporation is bigger.
Are they?
That's like
I
a
thought they
global
were-
conglomerate.
I thought they were just in Argentina.
No, I got the sense that they were a
Interesting.
multinational.
No, I got the sense they were just there. Well, either way.
No, I thought they were funding Velasco, who is the local arm.
But
of
Velasco
them
is
in that
friends
country.
with the guys who started the company.
Correct, which is the Coven. They say it's a Coven.
It's the Coven, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, I don't think we can disagree. I don't think it's the world. I think it's Argentina.
That's fine, but I mean,
It's a
there's
great-
no reason to think that they're not coordinating with others doing the same thing.
True. Very true. Very true. Yeah. Here's the question, right? The people who are funding the last show, right? Who gave them the drugs, right? They left the country in the beginning of the episode, or the beginning of the show, or the movie.
Yeah.
Where did they go?
Well, I mean, the daughter must be out of it. I think by saying the word, you get out. So saying certain words, he says, say those words. And I think what he's trying to do is get his daughter out.
Yeah.
And he realizes he's going to die so I think he's still tied to whatever's happening. And by undoing it where he is, he gets killed.
I mean, listen, the fact that there's so much to fucking talk about this movie, it's just,
wait a minute.
it's just so
Here it is.
cleverly done. I mean,
There are multiple clues that this is an alternate 1987. Notably, there is a tourism ad. See, this is where if you're not Argentinian, you don't know this.
Yeah.
Or I don't. There's an ad for Argentina's Malvina Islands, which we know as the Falklands.
Oh,
so there
shit.
are indications that this is like Fallout, where there's different things. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot in this Reddit thread. Yeah, and the book that he references was published in 2016. So that means whatever's been going on has been going on for 30 years.
It's almost like the executives have access to the outside world, the people in the coven, but the people
they would.
Yeah, but the people who are living in there don't. It's like their little fiefdom.
Yeah.
That's
in the film Rosemary's Baby, Stephen Mercato, which is the name of the warlock, was the name of a notorious Satanist in the building where Rosemary lived. The baby was named Adrian, and Tanis leaf is the herb the coven gave Rosemary to wear around her neck. So see, there's all these references to things that...
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Rosemary's Baby fan, so I wouldn't know that.
Nah, neither was I.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's still a great movie.
No,
it doesn't make any difference.
This was... I still think that this was like one of the best movies we've watched together.
Yeah.
It is so cleverly done. The writing is so good. The director knew how to use all the tools he had. And also
which also is why they're saying the aspect ratio is an old one, because they're stuck in 87.
Yeah. Yeah, and he doesn't
the guy who knew it goes widescreen because the guy's like, something's wrong here. It's still not color, but it's broadening their knowledge.
But he doesn't have to spell it out for you.
Right.
You know, and I like that. He leaves it to you to figure it out a little bit. He just says, these are the events. Now figure it out. And you can come up kind of with your own conclusions.
Oh, okay. Here we go. This makes sense. This actually
you're going down the rabbit
things.
hole now. Okay.
All right. Okay. As this person says, here's my best guess. No guarantees 100% correct. So at least prefaces it correctly. The whole country is in another dimension. That's why everything is black and white. That's why the tech is all over the place. As part of a deal between a coven of magicians and some entity. The entity feeds on the citizens, and the coven stays in power over the country. The sacrifices are covered up by people simply forgetting about them. That's why people forget about their number of kids.
Yeah.
Mercado was willing to spill the beans on the conspiracy, but in turn asked the journalist to bring him an item from one of the coven's safe houses. Since the safe houses are protected by people simply forgetting about them, the journalists perform a ritual that helps them remember the location of one of the safe houses.
Yeah, so
it's like a
perception filter from the TARDIS.
Yes, exactly. The means of the ritual are given to them by a dissatisfied industrialist at the very start of the movie. Von Merkens is the name of the person, who might also still be a member of the coven. Once the location is known, they tell the female reporter the address so she can fetch
Which
the
is
item
the reason that the
Mercado.
Von Merkens can fucking leave Argentina, because if they were part of the coven in any way, they have access.
Yes. Turns out the item is a mobile phone, a means of communication for the coven members to the outside. Mercado uses the phone to contact his child, who looks up a magic phrase to leave the dimension they are in. Oh, so he's getting his kid out. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
However, before Mercado can free the people by broadcasting it everywhere, the broadcast gets shut down. The only people able to leave are the ones in the studio, which is why they turn to color. Interesting. Yeah. I have a hunch... it's interesting. It's interesting because it would explain why he turned to smoke, because if his power is tied to them, by escaping the people into color, his power goes away. So maybe he ages 3,000 years in a second and vaporizes. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because you know how long they've been there.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I like, you know what? I like the movie even more now.
Yeah. It's really clever.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't want to watch it again for a while. I want it to sit, but I do want to watch it again to see what I may have missed. You know.
Ooh, they're saying Abel, actually, the guy with the curly hair, may have actually been a sleeper agent because he's not in any of the flashback scenes. And he's the one pushing them to do things.
And he's also the one that
who sees things.
No, they said that he was in the camp.
Yeah, the farms.
And they said to him, "You were in the camp all this time, and you never got access to the wizards." So it's very possible that he was either turned or he was a plant.
Well, what they're saying is it's not that he's a plant. He was actually placed there by Marcato to make sure what had to happen happened, which is why he's pushing so hard. That makes sense, too.
Yeah, which is why she kills him.
Yeah.
But then why does the producer die? Why does the main producer die, you think?
I don't know.
Because he gets vaporized.
That's a great question.
And the other two don't.
But he also sees red. I don't know. I don't know. I mean...
Yeah, that's what I mean. Say. That's what I mean. I like a movie that leaves you thinking for a while going, why? And not why like, oh, obviously this is a plot hole. It's not a plot hole. There's a reason for it. I just don't know it. I got to think about it.
Hold on, I want to see.
I like that.
I want to see something. No, we had a blast with it, even though we kind of missed a big part of it.
I can't.
I didn't think anything of that cell phone.
I can't believe that we fucking missed that.
Well, I think a lot of it is that we were so caught up in, well, what is happening here? I'm looking at.
I mean, yeah, that detail. I mean, fucking hell! It's amazing how we're so used to the cell phone that we didn't catch that it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's.
I mean, if you scrub through the movie, does it ever say the year at the bottom of the screen when they're on the actual program? Because they say like the temperature. I think they say the date too, and I think we just didn't see it because the subtitles were.
Yeah.
But maybe they did.
Forgot.
I don't know.
I mean, I know they said the year at some point. I just completely forgot it.
I completely missed it too. I didn't even. By the time at the end when I was trying to figure out what was happening, I don't even know if I would have remembered.
That makes me like the movie even more. I mean, it's so Lovecraftian.
Yeah.
You know, but without having to fucking hit you over the head with it.
Yeah.
You know? Ah, man, it's great.
I mean, the two of us missed it.
I want to see this guy's other movies now, really badly. Like to see what else he gets away with.
Right.
But what year was this movie actually made?
What was that? It was 2020.
2020. Oh, so it's not even that old. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. It is apparently on Tubi, so anybody can watch it.
Are you saying that they remade this or they took the idea?
No. Late Night with the Devil is just similar in its structuring, not anything related to that. In that the guy is doing it's supposed to be almost like Late Night with the Devil is supposed to be like it's a show where they think they're bringing on somebody and they're going to do like a fake shock show and they don't realize that they're actually fucking around with real magic, black magic. They think the guy's a fake, so they're bringing him on to kind of do a Geraldo thing, and it turns out that no, this guy knows what he's doing, and he actually might be the devil, hence Late Night with the Devil. So no, it's not. It's just that they're both kind of, and it's supposed to be an older TV show. Yeah. So I don't know if the person who did Late Night with the Devil saw this and went, ooh, that's an interesting framing device. I'll make my own. But that one is not the same in that, as far as I understand, it doesn't get into different timelines or anything like that. That's more of, is this real magic or not, or what the hell's happening? But it just sticks with that. I don't think it's a remake. I think it's just that they're similar in their framing devices. That's all. Yeah. But that's the people had said Late Night with the Devil's pretty good, but if you want to see a really good version of this, watch this. Yeah. Meaning this idea of they're watching it's the last program. I don't think Late Night with the Devil, I don't think it's supposed to be the last episode of the show. It's just when they're like, we're going to bring on a real life Satanist and let him explain what magic is. And then he's like, yeah, watch this. Fucking conjures the devil. Type shit. So I don't think there's any political, social element to that.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
So I got nothing bad to say about it. I mean, it goes an incredible distance for being such a short movie.
Yeah.
And the thing is, for only being an hour and a half, I got to say that it's. Rarely do we watch a movie where I sit there and I say, I would tell anyone to see this, because it is such a fascinating film to figure out. Because it isn't just horror. It isn't just I'm going
to read this sentence, which is actually the perfect reason why this movie is very, very good. This person said, the ending is perfect in my opinion. You're basically given everything to make up your mind about what is really happening, even if you didn't catch all the hints they drop on you beforehand. Like me. He says, like me, meaning, and he's right. You can just make up an ending for this on what you want it to be. You don't have to realize the cell phone was out of place.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fucking thing. I'm so annoyed with myself because we missed it.
No, and that's why I was like, do I want to say what year it is? And even when I said it, you didn't think about it right away. And I didn't. Yeah.
And then you do, and you're like, oh, yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Ugh. That shit's crazy.
Mm-hmm. In fact, some people are like, yeah, the political stuff is really just there to get you to fixate on it. As opposed to.
Well, no, because
really
the thing is, the people are fixated because that's their reality. Right.
Yeah.
So it makes sense because that is what they're fighting for. They just don't realize it's part of a larger problem.
Yeah. Oh,
and,
you know what?
Yeah.
This guy was also the creator and writer on something called the Kirlian Frequency, or Kirlian, I don't know. Yeah. An animated web series revolving around a radio that broadcasts only at night in a small town deep inside Buenos Aires where all kinds of weird and supernatural events occur. I will be fucking watching that.
It's an animated series.
It is 10 episodes long. Animated, yeah. Wow. Interesting,
yeah.
10 episodes.
I like this director. I'll tell you that.
Well, this is apparently very good. And this sounds like basically Welcome to Night Vale, except animated, which... Oh, man. Oh, Jesus. He clearly likes dark figures with fucking glowing eyes. Jesus Christ. I'm looking at images. Oh, my God. Yeah, okay. I'm going to watch this. Oh, Jesus. Oh, fuck's sake. It's freaking me out just looking at this. I don't like that shit.
What is it called?
Here, I'm just linking it to you. There. Oh, well, that may be the script. Jesus. Oh, my God. What is this? This looks great.
Oh, yeah. There's people with dark eyes. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Estoy atrapado. I am trapped. It is irreversible. It is eternal.
Justo cuando creas que era seguro volver a escuchar la radio.
Interesting, yeah. The Kirlian Frequency.
Toda la noche. Todas las noches.
Un viejo y su perro.
Sure.
No, there's the thing where... did you see the picture where it's the wheelchair, but then the shadow shows the dog?
Yeah, the dog?
Yeah.
The wolf or whatever?
Yeah. This looks fucking weird. Yeah.
Jesus.
Is everyone just black with...
Reminds me of Welcome to Night Vale. Thank you.
There you go.
There we go. Wow.
Is everyone just black with dark eyes? Is there no actual people?
I assume that might be the style. But he's telling stories, so maybe they're always not supposed to be specific. There is one where it looks like there's some... If you scroll through, there's one that looks like it has some facial features. Wow.
Oh, there you go.
Jeez. There are so many wonderful references. Lovecraft, Poe, King. No disrespect to the animator. Great job of building tension.
What the
Very good for a must for Tales of the Crypt and Twilight Zone fans. Ooh, I like that.
So, for whatever reason, and this is probably because we've been looking at movies, IMDb has linked a movie to me called Eastern Condors from 1987.
Why do I know that name? Hold on.
Eastern Condors. It's got Sammo Hung in it. He directed it. And I'm going to read the description to you. A group of Asian prisoners is recruited, trained, armed, and sent to Vietnam to destroy a cache of American weapons left behind after the Vietnam War, before the Viet Cong discovered its location.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it looks like something we would watch.
One of the main guys from the cop from Righting Wrongs is in it, so that's a good sign.
Is that the guy?
Basically the guy who's the main. Oh, so is the well-dressed assassin from Yes, Madam. Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, there you go.
Good sign. Oh, and the superintendent guy, of course, is in it. He's a colonel
as well.
Yep. Boy, wow.
Oh yeah, there he is. There he is. Melvin Wong.
There he is.
Oh well. Oh,
Cor Yuen, the guy who was.
There's a character called the Giggling General.
Oh Jesus. The guy who was the kind of slothy cop's kid who got shot in Righting Wrongs is in it too.
We have to watch this.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch this.
I mean, there's a girl with pigtails and a machine gun. We got to watch this.
One more to add to the list. Yes, we'll watch this. God,
Yeah,
so
this
many.
seems like it's in the same.
I mean, we could watch Hong Kong action films forever.
We can, yes.
But yes, the pigtailed woman with a machine gun is pretty much selling the movie to me. Ooh, it's in the Criterion collection. Shit, I could watch it right
Oh
now.
no!
Fuck yeah! No,
I'm
that's
out.
great. Yeah, they don't just stick with highfalutin shit.
I'm sending
Wow,
you a
the
link
one
to.
cover with the oiled bohunk is
I'm
great.
sending you a link to a poster that really sold it to me.
Oh, well, that's good too. Yeah, that's
Yeah, where it's basically it's the whole cast with all their weapons standing there.
No, the guy covered in frying oil VHS cover sold me because that's some beefcake right there with a lot
Well,
of
good. I'm glad that
chicken
we
grease on.
I'm glad that we found one of our next or we found a new movie to watch. There you go.
Wow, look at I think the pigtails woman might make this a more immediate watch because I'm curious. That's a pretty good song.
And the thing is, knowing them, it'll be like half funny and then half tragic.
Her name is Gorilla Girl. Oh no, if she doesn't have an actual name, that's not a good sign. It might mean she's gonna die.
Gorilla Girl
Damn.
1, Gorilla Girl 3.
No, Gorilla Girl. Well, no, number 1 is the pigtails.
Yeah. Well, you know.
I could be. I haven't even seen it. I don't want her to die.
I haven't even seen it yet.
Wait. Okay, wait. What's her name in this? Oh, see? I knew it. Somebody
What?
says it also features one of the most badass and thus by definition one of the sexiest female characters ever to appear in a war film. It's Pigtail Girl.
Is it?
Yep, it is.
Oh,
No!
What?
A cross between the Dirty Dozen,
Yeah.
which is good and bad, the Deer Hunter,
Oh god.
the Deer Hunter with
Yeah.
a James Bond ending? What the fuck is this? Wow.
We should see it.
Yeah. Oh no, we're gonna see it. I don't want the pigtail girl to die.
Well, sometimes bad things have to happen. Come on.
No.
Yes.
I mean, I don't have to watch them.
Well, you can close your eyes for that part, and I'll tell you she lives.
Okay. She just went up into the sky magically.
Oh
She just
man,
flew
no,
in.
Pigtail Girl. She just left. She was like, I don't have to be here.
Oh, good. Yes.
She left-
I
she
thought
left
you were
the gas
serious. I
on.
read that somewhere. I was going to say, oh, really? That's what happened? No.
No, no.
She left the gas on. Well, you know what? Hold on a
I'll
minute.
lie
What
to
year
you
is
if
this?
that's what you need. Do you need
No,
to lie
it's
to
okay.
you?
Hold on. No. Just hold on. I want to see something because there should be a site like does the dog die for does the character die?
Does the hot girl die?
Yeah. I'm looking it up.
Let's see if she dies. Does Gorilla Girl 1 die?
Oh no. Yeah, they almost all die.
Yeah, because it's the Dirty Dozen, man. They all fucking get ripped up.
Wow. That sucks. Well, wait, unless yeah, no. That's terrible. Yeah, she's gonna die. Fuck. All right. Well,
Well, so many of them do. It's the Dirty Dozen. Come on.
Yeah, but you could have had the woman live.
Listen, at least she's not raped.
Listen. Well, I don't know if she is or not. I didn't read that part, but I mean, it's war and war camp, so who knows? But even Righting Wrongs understood that. Oh, we can't kill off Cynthia Rothrock. We're gonna retcon that real quick. Thanks. Fucking A, you are.
Yeah, they all go to
assholes.
jail
You do
afterwards.
Well, that's yes, madam, and we don't know that they
yeah.
go to jail because the guy's dead. Therefore, there's no witnesses.
No,
Only that
no,
one guy's going to jail.
There you go.
Oh, they're guilty of trespass and discharging firearms at a guy who's dead, and everybody who knows him is dead. I mean, everybody but the lawyer is alive. And the lawyer didn't see anything.
Well, you guys can go. Clearly, there's no problems here.
Well, she's Scotland Yard. They're going to extradite her ass right out of there. I feel bad for
yes.
Michelle Yao.
Oh yeah,
But, I mean,
yeah. Michelle Yao will go down. So, but either
but
way,
she'll break Michelle Yao out.
History
She'll get
of
her in
the
a car,
Occult.
and they'll drive to England.
History of the Occult is a fucking awesome movie.
No,
is
it's excellent.
It's
Excellent.
incredibly well done. I'm still pondering the story. I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing other movies by that director.
I want to watch that animated series. I just have to find it. It's probably on. YouTube.
It's about as high a review as I could give something. You know?
Yeah, because you're not really a horror film person.
No, I'm not.
So
Not at all.
I really didn't know. And like you said, this is not a standard horror film.
No, but this isn't
we
horror.
didn't know that going in.
This is like that Lovecraftian occult cosmic
Well,
shit.
I mean,
You know?
yeah, I mean, it depends on what you define horror as. Horror could be, oh, wow, they've been killing children in the background for 30 years.
No,
That's
listen,
horrific.
that part is horrible, but the way that it's handled. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
what I'm saying is going into it, we didn't know what it was going to... I mean, even I didn't really look much up.
This could have devolved into a boo-ah murder horror movie, but it didn't. It kept its tension. I mean, listen, the fact that the woman at the end shoots that one agent of the Warlocks fucking dead. I didn't expect that. Where he's like about to get her, he's like, "You can't get away," and he like goes to get her, and she turns around, and she's like, "Oh," and she shoots him in the chest. I was like, "Yeah, you know what that means? That means that these guys are still mortal." Like, I think that that scene was important to me because it showed that they still had mortal weakness. You know? So yeah, I think it's a great movie. So
yeah, we had a lot of fun with it.
and,
Like I said, for a movie that could, like Late Night with the Devil, I think is more of a horror film. It's more of a Blair Witch type.
boo! Oh, you're all gonna die.
where
Yep, got it.
Or even if not that there's like gore and, fountains of blood and, Devil Man and shit like that and, Rob Zombie stuff and whatever. So.
Yeah, I'm bored with that.
Really. Rob Zombie's not involved, but. I'm not bored with it, but I think that one is more about.
I'm bored with it when they don't do more with it.
Yeah, I think that one is supposed to be good because they do more with the idea that, well, what happens if you book the devil on a late night show and he shows up? Which can be a fun idea. Hijinks ensue. Because if the devil that shows up is a trickster devil, well, then it could be a lot of comedy. If the devil that shows up is, goat horns and shaggy legs, and I want to, twist your asshole out of your stomach lining and have your mother eat it, not so fun. So it really just depends.
And on that note, folks, thanks for listening.
And on that note, thanks for listening. And have a great weekend. Enjoy the 4th of July with whatever demon shows up at your party. Thanks! Visit OzoneNightmare.com to subscribe to new episodes, browse through our back catalog, or to find links to support the show. Follow @OzoneNightmare on Twitter for the latest episode postings and other show information. If 280 characters just isn't enough, you can always email us, theozonenightmare@gmail.com. The opening theme for the show is provided by Heartbeat Hero. The closing theme is provided by Ogre. Please visit and support these artists using the links in the show notes for each episode.